Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. This is now episode 321. In this episode, we're going to debate whether or not Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. Mahomes versus Lamar and the MVP discussion. If the Lions or Dolphins were more exposed, Jalen Hurts increased turnover numbers, and give a tier list for the AFC and NFC. Just wanted to give you guys a shout out. We are currently at 400 Patreon subs, and this month has been great to us in terms of YouTube subscribers. Shout out to everybody that's subscribing on YouTube. If you're watching right now, make sure to subscribe
almost
on
at 50K.
YouTube.
Come on, right there, 49.
Starving for it. I'd do anything.
92K. Right there. I need that 100K is really what we need. The 50K is cool, but the 100K get the plaque, little flex.
Anything?
Halfway there.
Anything. I'll do anything with that 50K. That 100K, oh boy, you might as well just. You feel me? I heard your jab. Do I entertain it? No, because
you're gonna have to entertain it.
I thought the topic was, is Brock Purdy the next Jimmy Garoppolo?
it's the same thing.
It is. Jimmy Garoppolo's a system quarterback.
He's trying to get it. You know what it is, Dehls? You weren't here. He's trying to get his dub back because I caught a W that day. I completely dominated him, and now he's trying to get a W back, which I understand, you know. And this is his
it was
wake-up
actually the most. It was like David versus Goliath type of W.
Listen, the W was had by Riv, you can say in the moment, but
here goes the hindsight.
It's not he ain't win the war. It was maybe the battle, not the war.
Until I win the war into the playoffs.
Yeah, of course. But
so
as of right now,
he won 2 weeks goes by. Now he lost.
If the pendulum is swinging, the pendulum after the Cowboys game was like this. Now it's coming back and it's gonna go to the other way.
Is what's your Cowboys take? We all are up here. We won because that shit is garbage.
The Cowboys still got a chance,
but Purdy doesn't.
The Niners have a way better chance.
Did I say? I didn't say Purdy doesn't have a chance.
I mean, you said that the scale is tipping this way.
I did. It's evening out
for Dallas. They are.
I never said, but I never said there's no chance. I just said it's coming back down to earth. Did you know that Brandon Aiyuk has? He's first in separation in raw PFF numbers. Number one in separation. He is an elite tier wide receiver. And Dell's been here with me. Yes, he's an elite wide receiver.
Dell's has never said he was an elite
tier wide receiver. You don't think he's an elite wide receiver?
He's really good. I think he's top 15 for sure.
You tried to throw Dell's.
You can say he's an elite route runner.
He tried to put you in that. Tried to do that. Dell's has never said that. You're on the train by yourself.
He's one of the top end wide receivers. He is.
I don't know. He's not. I don't think he's like a high.
No, he's not. He's not on an Aiyuk. No. He's not on a Tyreek Hill or Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown type of level. But he's the next tier over.
Okay.
He's the next tier over.
When you said elite, I assumed you meant those guys. Pardon me. That's all.
He's with Waddle. He's with those kind of guys.
He's better than Waddle.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, he's in that tier. The next tier over, like the CD Lambs and stuff. And I think he's nearing the top of that tier.
I would say let's relax on the he's better than Jalen Waddle train. He's been better this season, but Jalen Waddle has been struggling with injuries, staying on the field. This year, again, you could say he's been better, but overall for the first 2 seasons of Waddle's career, there's never been a doubt in anyone's mind. It's been Jalen Waddle.
Aiyuk was better last year versus man coverage and zone. He had better success percentages.
Jalen Waddle set the franchise record for a rookie for receptions.
As a rookie,
and then on top of it was
last year,
fringe better than he was his rookie season.
Last year he hit like 1,300 yards.
His average depth of target was like 6 yards higher than was his rookie.
His rookie year was doing nothing. Yeah.
The thing about wide receiver production is that it's not always an embodiment of how good a wide receiver is, because they can be open on a route and they could not get the ball. It's just a fact.
It's numbers don't tell the whole story.
I
think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, they don't. Especially with it's such a dependent position.
But when you at that level, your numbers are pretty for the most part they're gonna tell the story. Like when you at that type of level,
it depends. Like Garrett Wilson is, I think, probably the biggest outlier where his numbers don't match how good he really is. Because of the quarterback play.
And Brandon Aiyuk was in a doghouse for the first 2 years of his career. He finally got out of it in his 3rd season because he started to do the little things. He started to block well. It wasn't his route running. It was always there, but he's always been one of the better separators. And we've cited this website before, but Reception Perception, Matt Harmon, he evaluates wide receivers and he creates success rates for each one. And Brandon Aiyuk last year was in the elite tier versus man coverage, versus press, versus zone coverage. And even PFF has always been very high on him and how much separation he creates. I don't think it's a mystery as to why Brandon Aiyuk is number 1 in separation this year. He's one of the top 5 route runners in the league. Like,
the
he's
unfortunate
that
part
good.
of that was Jahan Dotson was in a similar conversation last year, man.
Yeah.
But I don't think Jahan Dotson is bad. I think Jahan Dotson
He's
is
not
great.
bad. He just needs to hold on to the damn ball.
I do think you need a mixture of both, though.
I think Sam Howell was just fixated on where he wants to go with the play, and he doesn't look anywhere else.
The thing is, Jahan's still number 2 in targets.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're not making anything of him.
But how many are uncatchable?
That's also a good question.
Because
Probably
I think Jahan, if he gets that quarterback play, will,
But the thing is,
produce.
Terry's still playing well.
Yeah, he is.
Terry's putting together a solid season. How is it that one is and the other's not? When they're seeing, well, obviously Terry's
So,
number 1 in targets.
What's
but
going to
Jahan's
propel
too.
Brandon Aiyuk to the next level?
I think it's the numbers. Because right now his numbers aren't going to be stacking up with. I don't know if he's ever going to reach the Tyreek Hill and Jettas. Those numbers probably not. But can he get to
AJ Brown is right there too now at this
no,
point.
without a doubt, AJ Brown's in the conversation. I think it's a matter of the skill. When you watch him, you could see he's a top 15 type receiver. But if he's able to have a 1,500+ yard season, now people are going to be like, okay, he put up the 1,511 touchdowns. Now we could talk about him in the top 10. I think
need
that's
the eye
one thing he's
test and the
missing.
numbers.
It's
Exactly.
also the type of offense you play in. The 49ers run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to, the 49ers, I think Brock Purdy has like 216 dropbacks compared to Tua, who probably has 300+ on the season already. If you're giving your receivers more opportunities, they're going to have better numbers.
And then
it's the offense you play in
the
too.
players around him too, like the Dolphins offense, we're funneling almost everything through Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The run game's been doing great too, but with the Niners, like you said, they run the ball a ton. Debo's going to get his looks. Kittle's going to get his look. Juwan Jennings has looked good this far. Good look so far this year. So he's a lot of mouse feeding that Niners offense.
But Aiyuk, make no mistake, I think he's up there, and I love Aiyuk.
Aiyuk's great.
Yeah, it's a joy to watch. I can play his highlights with the sound off and just play jazz music behind it and go to sleep. And that's how good the highlights are.
So smooth.
You're a
He is
TikTok
smooth.
merchant, man.
You seen that TikTok?
course I
Corey?
have.
Is that not hard?
It's a good
what
video.
are we talking about?
It's a
man?
good video.
They don't know who the first jazz player was. You should know.
Odell?
No. Fantasy
Damn.
footballers. Come on.
No.
Holding's holding.
I don't know.
Told you,
Kenny
fella.
Galladay.
Really?
Yeah, Kenny
Oh,
G.
that makes sense. That makes
Kenny
sense.
G.
Duh.
Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay.
Oh,
Drew
man.
fell off, man.
Yeah. And then sometimes you have receivers like Galladay who have a great year, but it's not sustainable because it's off of jump balls, So
The first Jazz TikTok I saw with highlights was Odell.
Bro,
Yeah, with him on the Giants.
I haven't got any of those.
neither.
Those are elite TikToks.
Non-stop basketball on my TikTok.
Really?
Man. Yeah, not much football.
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm here with it. straight hoop vibes. That's what I do, man.
It's back, man.
Hey, listen, Jazz with some Jordan Poole highlights.
Oh, geez.
Man.
we might have to get into the discussion. Maybe the Warriors got better by trading Jordan Poole. They don't have a jock coming off the bench now.
Crying.
You can't say that.
Last year he was definitely a jock.
No,
No, you can't. You actually can't.
Why can't I
that.
say he was a
because
jock?
in the offseason, you was like, I don't know if they'll have the juice because Jordan Poole this,
I
Jordan
don't.
Poole that. So
I
you
also
can't.
said that.
You can't say that.
The scoring juice, no.
Yeah, so
But
you can't say that.
Chris Paul adds a different dimension to
I know.
the offense.
I
yeah,
said that.
no scoring.
Just the playmaking.
Well,
Now
he's on the
instead of
spot.
Chris
You see how
Paul
he moves?
scoring, it's Kuminga and it's Moody and it's everybody else.
Yo, just wait till Draymond comes back and you have 2 minuses scoring the basketball.
Who's minus? Dre say he got his confidence back.
You believe that?
Hey, listen, Dre's never a minus, man, because he's the
Yeah,
playmaking
defensively,
guy.
he's going to make up for so
Okay,
much.
you have 2 great playmakers.
We're here. More shots for Steph.
But
I
that's
love
what I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
You're going to need CP to
Okay.
knock down some buckets.
He had 0 for a lot of the game, and we were
Yeah.
close. So
True.
Yeah, you just need the other.
He
guys.
was big for the Steph-less minutes.
He was just playmaking.
Yep.
Just do all that good shit. That's
We
what
got
I
him
love.
for.
Because he's look how he moves. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
He barely moves.
Yeah, he tried to do
Bam,
dribble
bam,
moves
bam,
and
bam,
shit. It was
bam,
kind
bam.
of.
There's going to be a fourth quarter where Chris Paul just goes completely off, and it's going to sway Riv's perception on him.
What you mean?
He already feels good about CP
feel
right
good.
now.
You feel good about
Yeah,
CP?
yeah, you were the one.
You're going to feel better.
I thought we were good. We're good
You
team.
said Spencer Dinwiddie was better than him in 2019.
No, wait, did I? Well, that was the year I told you he was fucking cooked, and you told me
Let me
something
ask you
about
right
him
now,
going
who's
to a
better,
different team.
Spencer Dinwiddie or Chris Paul?
Right now. I think a question we didn't ask in the offseason when the Jordan Poole trade happened, but it came into my mind recently is Jordan Poole getting traded to the Wizards, is it going to actually help his career? Because I think there's a case to be made that him going to the Wizards and now becoming a full-time shot chucker and jock is going to hurt his game, and it's going to make teams around the NBA view him as a negative teammate.
Is it going to be the equivalent to Jeremy Grant?
I think that's a good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy
Yes.
Grant got He got
bag.
paid again, right?
A
He did,
bag.
yeah.
190?
Yeah, something stupid.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. Poole gets paid again. We're here.
What do you mean by that, though?
Like, we're here. My boy got a bag. I
Oh,
love
got
that
it.
for him.
But when Bradley Beal got his bag, you didn't love that for him.
Nope, hated it.
Poole has the opportunity though to take
an
over
agenda,
and be
bro.
like kind of the leader of that team. You know, if he's able to show leadership skills, if he's efficient, if he's making others around him better, he could revitalize.
I really think the shot chucking is a little extreme.
He's gonna
He
take
did
a
the
ton of
shit with
shots,
Steph
but
in them.
he showed
He's
his
not
best,
going to change.
you know?
Nah, the
Short
funny
Poole.
thing about it was he dropped 41 in the preseason in the game after. Would he make one shot?
Wouldn't know. I didn't watch either.
Denny Advia was mad.
He was
fuck is
pissed.
he mad
He
for?
was pissed.
No, but
wa-
I thought he was mad
He was gonna make
when
it.
he was getting his buckets still.
No, he was mad when Jordan Poole went off.
Yeah.
because he wanted Poole
The
to
ball.
pass the ball.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Look
assuming.
up his points per game and his field goal percentage.
Denny Advia? Or, yeah.
No, I'm not saying. Of course,
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not- yeah, I'm
we
saying,
can't
like,
defend Denny
The nerve of
Advia,
him
but
to be angry.
Denny Advia is an elite defender.
For sure. That's his role. He's a great role player. Scoring, though, you can't do what just Poole just did to step back. You can't do that.
But I think there is something to be said where, Poole was in one of the best situations in the NBA. Draymond didn't like him. I don't know if Steph and Clay liked playing with him
Steph liked
either. Who knows? They might have liked him off the court, but they didn't really enjoy playing with him because when Poole took that shot in the playoffs to win the game, Steph was visibly upset. So I think we're going from...
It was a regular season game. Poole took a shot, like a step shot, bro, through his
guard,
mouthpiece
yeah.
at
Got
a fan. He
ejected.
was so mad, yeah. That shit was hilarious.
So in that situation, if they don't have fun playing with you, I don't know if any situation he's gonna have teammates that enjoy playing with
Nah,
him.
Jordan took that shot, and I was smiling ear to fucking
shit lost
ear.
me. I was so mad, bro. I was so livid, bro, because I'm like, bro, just give the ball back to Steph, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones is there, so maybe he won't be the point guard.
Tyus Jones gonna request a trade mid-season.
Get him to L.A. now.
Listen, send him somewhere. I think he's a good player. I would want him on
Get
the
him to the
playoff team.
Suns.
Gabe Vincent D'Lo for Tyus Jones in a pick. Who says no?
D'Lo
The
and Jordan
money?
Poole on the same team is crazy.
Huh?
The Wizards probably
D'Lo
have
and
the money
Jordan
to take
Poole on
it,
the
no?
same team is crazy.
Yeah.
Probably.
The contracts will work, I think. Hey,
Gabe
What's
is
Tyus
10?
Jones making,
You
though?
can't trade Gabe until like
16,
December.
18 million a year.
Yeah, I mean,
around there.
D'Lo's making over 20, right?
he's making
18, right?
no. I thought the deal was like 2 for 20 something.
I thought he was making 18.
He might.
a
He
year.
might. He might.
D'Lo,
He
I
might.
think
He
he's
might.
making 18 a year.
I know we got him on an amazing contract. Do me that
Yeah.
favor.
I don't know. I mean, well, Tyus is at like 14 mil for the year.
2 for 36, so you're 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tyus is he's on a 1 year deal. So I don't know. I don't care. I'll be honest.
Bring him to LA. You're saying no? Who says no?
You need all the help you can get.
Do we?
Denver just whipped your ass.
Let's hope
It looked
not.
bad. It looked WCF flat.
Remember
it
what-
was WCF flashbacks.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I'll be honest. That game was
You made a run. You thought you were gonna win, and then they just cooked you.
that game was way worse than anything that I went through in the WCF.
Really?
Last night?
Definitely. In terms of them dominating,
Oh yeah.
we didn't get dominated at all in the WCF. We lost every game,
Yeah.
but we did not get our ass
Every game
beat
was
the way-
interesting.
Yeah, we didn't get our ass beat like we did last night. We made runs, and then that fourth quarter, we took LeBron out, and the game was caked.
What do you thought? We have a full football episode. But
can
quick,
ask
your
briefly.
thoughts on LeBron only getting 20 to 30 minutes tonight?
I'm happy.
Okay.
Really?
There's no reason to do that to him.
What if that?
We
caused
spoke
you-
about it prior to the season starting. I'm not going to change my energy now. He should not be in this position to be the number
All
one on our
eyes on
team.
AD.
Like, come on, bro.
All eyes on AD.
It's on Anthony Davis. He's got to be better. He will be.
On to the first topic of this show. Is Brock Purdy the next Jimmy Garoppolo, a.k.a. is he just a system quarterback for the 49ers? Like, you can just plop in a guy working at a cash register like Kurt Warner, and then, maybe could become a Pro Bowl Hall
Kurt
of Fame
Warner has a
quarterback.
Super Bowl.
No, I know Kurt Warner's awesome. He actually got that special it factor, I think. I saw his
you would
documentary.
know.
Kurt Warner is
It's amazing.
amazing.
It's an amazing story.
What do you think? And listen, I don't want to start this topic off first, so you know what, Drew? I'll let you go first. I want to get your thoughts on it. I wanna
That's
get your
not how
thoughts
it
on it.
works. Because when we talk about Brock Purdy, there's only two people that I really care to hear from, and by care to hear from, I mean this wholeheartedly. I absolutely hate
Hate to hear it.
to hear it. That being said, I'm gonna push the floor over to you guys, and me and Joel are gonna sit back and enjoy.
Riv, I want to. You go first, man.
I think this topic is hilarious. I think I'm sick of the week by week analysis of Brock Purdy being assistant quarterback. Like, I'm so sick of the bullshit.
No, bro.
Every
I'm
week
laughing.
it's a Brock Purdy
I'm
topic.
laughing
Every week.
I'm laughing because Riv's saying that he's sick of it, and I only say this because I've been in your shoes. I've been in your shoes where, hey, an agenda's on my side. I'm thriving. This was the hot take, and I look great. And then a moment happens where you don't look as sharp as you once did. So I can understand being tired. You know?
I just think the guy who's trying to chase Brock Purdy is a bum. And I think that like this topic, like, is Brock Purdy the next Jimmy G? I don't think so. I think Brock Purdy has another level to get to. It may not be top 10 quarterback in the world. It may not be elite status. But I think he can get to a level Jimmy G just couldn't get to his career, whether it be because he was injured so much, or they didn't build the team around him perfectly, which is fine. But I think Brock Purdy with these weapons, CMC, Brandon Aiyuk, Debo, George Kittle, who George Kittle seems like one of his favorite targets. I think Brock Purdy has the opportunity to get better and maneuver. Because you mentioned, like, when Jimmy G got to the Niners, I think he was about like 3-4 years into his career. He didn't watch Tom Brady, played maybe a couple games, nothing crazy. But he didn't pretty much watch the GOAT play for 3 to 4 seasons. We've seen certain guys who watch greatness play and they play like shit. Somebody in Green Bay who's watched the guy play for his whole career and he's playing like ass.
Damn.
But Jimmy G watched the GOAT play and he came into the Niners and he was pretty good. He was efficient. He was smart with the ball. He didn't do too much. Didn't put his teammates in horrible positions, but he wasn't a guy to uplift. And I think sometimes that's okay. Like, I think you don't need a guy all the time to uplift if you build the right team. I think, and realistically, there's only about 6 or 7 guys in the NFL that are really major uplifters. So it's, like, legit okay to do that. But I think Brock Purdy in year 2, like, we forget this. He's in year 2. Last year was his rookie year. He was not supposed to play last year. He's not really supposed to be in the league still.
The fact he's on the roster.
Yeah, like, it's still, he's still surviving. It's crazy already. So he didn't already beat the allegations in the agenda or his story. Now it's just about continuing to get better, continuing to improve. I think people are just upset. Shanahan loves him. The locker room is behind him. He has the city behind him. San Fran loves him. They ride for him. We call him Big Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying?
Big what now?
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Big Cock Brock?
Yes, sir.
Got
like,
it.
The shirts are selling for him. Like, he's become a fan favorite because of his story. And I think people who keep trying to put him as a Jimmy G or keep trying to push this Sam Darnold's going to take his spot narrative are just people that are waiting on his demise, which is insane to me. He was the last pick in the draft. Show some respect.
Should be ruined for him.
It's hilarious how now we want to get the last pick in the draft card out and use that like
we've
it's
been
a
saying that
Yu-Gi-Oh!
for a while.
That's been at the forefront of every Brock Purdy debate.
Sam Darnold was a top 5 pick.
At this point in
Number
time, when you play in the NFL and you have games to showcase for yourself on film, the draft position means little to nothing anymore. That's just a fact. If you're putting Brock Purdy into conversations that he doesn't belong in, if people are saying he's a top 10 quarterback, he's an elevator, then I don't want to hear anything else about the last pick in the draft. Because even though it is a great story, that has nothing to do with what he's putting forth on the field. Him being the last pick in the draft has nothing to do with him being a system quarterback or being a great or elite quarterback. It has nothing to do with that. After the Cowboys game, he played a great game. I gave him his credit. But I told you guys after that game, I was pretty neutral still. That game did not all of a sudden elevate him for me high in the rankings.
Are you neutral?
Yes, because I rewatched the clip back to make sure I knew what I said.
About Sam Darnold today.
No, not only
Multiple
just that.
times.
He said that he woke up the next day
Hate him.
ready to get into hate mode.
Purdy neutral. I'm very indeed Purdy neutral.
What we're going to do is, let's be honest in this take.
And the Sam Darnold take, y'all act like I came up here and I just said it. It was hot takes of the season. And that was one of my scorching hot takes of the season. It's not something that I was fully invested in. I just said, I think if Sam Darnold gets his shot, he will play well with the 49ers. No different than the week 1 overreaction when Riv said Brock Purdy's all pro, and now he's saying that's not actually my take. It was just an overreaction.
You
That's
said Sam Darnold would take his job.
I said, yeah, because I think Sam Darnold, if he plays well, they
So
might not
why
go
are you-
back.
why are you
They might
doubling-
not go
why
back.
are you trying to double
that
back
was
right
Joel,
now?
that was one of my hot takes.
Sam Darnold is going to take
That
his
was
job
one of
over
my
1 week.
That was one of no. I don't think he will do it.
Okay.
Over 1 week.
saying that's what
but
you
I'm
said.
saying
Sure.
that was one of my hot takes of the season. I just said I think if he gets a shot, he will play really well. And there's a chance. That was a hot take. Brock Purdy right now is the 18th rated quarterback on PFF. I think that's fair. I think that's around where he's been this season. He's been there. When we had the MVP debate and discussion, I had a list of quarterbacks I would take over Brock Purdy, the ones that are up in the air, and the ones that I definitely take Brock Purdy over. Every quarterback I named and the ones that I take over Purdy, I still feel the same way today, right now. minus maybe Anthony Richardson because he's hurt. But Anthony Richardson, when he's fully healthy, I think he's going to be a superstar. So I'd still take the potential of him over Brock Purdy. I still stand by that 100%. Among quarterbacks with 100 dropbacks this season, this is turnover-worthy play percentage. Gardner Minshew is 1, Mac Jones is 2, Desmond Ridder is 3, Brock Purdy is 4. Brock Purdy's 10 turnover-worthy plays this season are the same as Joshua Dobbs, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, but all those quarterbacks have far more dropbacks than Brock Purdy. So one might say, but he has the same turnover-worthy plays as Mahomes, but Mahomes has dropped back 100 more times than Brock Purdy. Ultimately, you take the dropbacks by the turnover-worthy plays and then you combine them and come up with a percentage. Brock Purdy is the 4th most turnover-prone quarterback in the NFL. 45.6 of his passing yards have come from yak, yards after catch. He has a 64% on-target percentage, which is 32nd in the NFL. Let me finish.
I just had a question.
That's 2% off from Joshua Dobbs, Zach Wilson, and that's 10% lower than somebody like Jordan Love, who you just admitted to me is a bum. Brock Purdy is 10% less on target than someone like Jordan Love. If that doesn't speak to the system and the players around him, elevating him, I don't know what does. When we had the Brock Purdy MVP discussion, all I said was, while the quarterback is the most important position, there's no doubt. Zach Wilson right now, for the Jets, if he plays poorly, the Jets most likely lose. If he plays well, we got a chance to win. But ultimately, just because he plays well or plays bad does not make him a more valuable player, because he's not at the level of the other guys we have on the team. When it comes to Brock Purdy, he is in a situation where the supporting cast around him is elevating him.
When has that been this year? When he plays bad, how many games have they won?
When the 49ers have played well, how many games have the team around him been
Purdy
awesome?
Has played bad this year. How many games
so
have they won?
So that means whenever a quarterback plays bad, that means they're the most valuable player on the team.
You just said he's not an uplifter, and
he's not an uplifter.
You said the system uplifts him, so I'm
yes,
asking
it does.
You, when Purdy plays bad, how many games have the Niners won this year? Or
when he plays,
has it
they've
been
won
correlated?
One. He played bad versus the Rams. They won that game.
Bad.
Yes, he
wasn't
did.
Great.
Yeah, he didn't play. He didn't play good against the Rams. He played better in this Vikings game outside of the final 2 drives than he did against the Rams.
I disagree. That's scorching.
Not the craziest.
I wouldn't say scorching.
I disagree.
He missed a lot of throws
he
against
missed
the
some
Rams.
deep shots.
He played well against the Vikings outside those last 2 drives.
They weren't as damaging as that 4th quarter against the Vikings.
Yes, those 2 were backbreaking.
And even then, he played bad and they lost.
And he had a concussion.
But that's the story of the NFL.
Out.
If a quarterback doesn't play well or cost you in the biggest moments of the game, your team is most likely going to lose because the quarterback has the most control of the game. Sure. Brock Purdy in the 4th quarter when trailing 12 for 31, 166 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a 17.1 passer rating. So in these drives where they need him to be the uplifter, they need him to be the MVP guy that people have been propping him up to be when they're trailing, and it's drop back. Straight dropbacks, not window dressing, not motions, not play action, not off a boot. When they need him to drop back, he turns the ball over. It's 31 dropbacks, but I remember having this conversation in the offseason when I think he had about 17 to 19 dropbacks, and those weren't good when trailing. And this year, that sample size is now being added on to this sample size because overall last year and this year when trailing, he hasn't been very good. And until Brock Purdy can be great in those situations, I cannot say he's not a system quarterback. Until he can elevate and win games when he's down, which has been my major knock and concern, I can't say that he's nothing more than a system quarterback.
So wait. Just the 31 dropbacks are from this year. Just I don't want to misconstrue. So
we're like 5 a game.
So pretty much 5
most of them have come from the Browns and Vikings
in the Browns game in which he lost his running back. Trent Williams didn't play. He lost Debo mid-game. So he didn't really have – I'm not going to give you an excuse for the Viking games because the 4th quarter he just choked. But you're talking about a game in the Browns game where they was on the road. He lost Debo. CMC was in and out the lineup. He got hurt. And then Trent Williams didn't play. That's the game where you're like, yeah, he needs to uplift. When they lost 3 of their most important offensive players outside of him.
Even with losing those offensive players, you still have a Pro Bowl level receiver in Brandon Aiyuk and an all-pro tight end in George Kittle. That's better weapons than half the leagues and half the teams in the NFL have right now.
It's raining.
That's against the Brown defense, yes. But
on the road.
you look at the dropbacks when trailing with Brock Purdy, even the drop back before the interception, he threw it right to a defender. The defender just didn't catch the interception.
Against the Browns game?
Against the Browns. The play right before the interception, he was about to throw an interception on the play right before. So I think the knock and concern that Brock Purdy still has to prove himself when trailing is still valid. I'm not just going to say, you know what? The 31 dropbacks, even though you might say that's a low sample size,
low.
I'm not going to say, well, this sample size doesn't matter. You can't tell me that at this point in time you have more faith in Brock Purdy playing from behind than you do versus not playing from behind. I don't have much faith in him playing from behind in games as of this point now.
I don't think he'll ever really be behind.
It's not going to be a lot of times.
Like you mentioned the Browns in a Vikings game. I don't think that the Vikings game is going to happen again. They're not going to play the Browns again.
I think
he has not been trailed against a top team in the NFC yet, which is what matters.
I'm going to say this, and this is where I'll give my quick 2 cents, and you guys can go back at it. The Niners' defense is not as great as we think.
Oh.
That secondary has been an issue. The pass rush is still great. I think that it was a hiccup versus the Vikings, but at the same time, we give credit where credit is due. The Vikings' offensive line did put together a great performance. That secondary is not that good. So there's going to be times where it's not as good as people may think that it is. So there's going to be times where Brock is behind. There's going to be times where Brock is going to have the responsibility to uplift this offense. So I pose a question to you, Riv. If that's the case more often than not, how much of a confidence level do you have in him? Because, listen, I've seen some great moments from Brock for sure. There's been some moments over these last couple of weeks that haven't been the best. Against the Browns, say what you want to say about his overall performance. He left the field, giving his team a chance to win the game.
Yep.
Against the Vikings, he threw 2 bad balls, back-to-back drives. Wasn't great. But up until that point, he was playing a near-perfect game. A near-perfect game. Let me not say perfect. A near one.
He had that game-winning drive against the Browns. They set up a 40-yard field goal for Jake Moody. He just missed it. I mean, that would have been a game-winning drive on his resume.
It really just it depends on who they play. Like I'm not saying
because there's like 5 teams that you're really worried about if you're the Niners.
Like defensively,
week.
there isn't many teams that this Niners offense should be afraid of or even worried about.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially in the NFC, like the Eagles, they just made an addition, but you still have to see how that secondary looks. The Cowboys, you already put 40 on them.
That was the defense.
Yeah.
That was the defense you were supposed to be scared of,
and you
lit
already
them up
put
for 4
40
touchdowns.
on them. That's the one defense that gave you real trouble in the playoffs. The Lions defense, you just watched the Ravens destroy them. So you're like, how many defenses in the NFC are you really gonna sit here and say, oh, Purdy is behind? Like you mentioned, you said PFF has him ranked as the 18th best quarterback. You're like that. That's a great thing for them. He's a 2nd-year player. 18th is amazing, but at the same time, you nitpicking 31. Like you said, him and Mahomes has the same amount of turnover-worthy plays, yet Purdy has dropped back more.
Drop back less.
No, he's dropped back less. Yes.
Okay, that's fair, but realistically, Brock Purdy has played better defenses. So obviously, him playing better defenses, that's gonna be that situation is gonna be there. Just because he dropped back less though, and they have the same amount of turnover-worthy plays, I don't think that means too much. Like
that means a lot. That means basically in basketball terms, a 3-point shooter shooting 40% from 3 on 2 attempts versus 7 attempts. That's basically the same thing.
All right, so here I'll give you the numbers, Riv. So Purdy has dropped back 215 times. Let's take away Mahomes from this because he's dropped back 300 times. Trevor Lawrence is at 280. He's tied with Purdy for turnover-worthy plays. Now, Lamar Jackson has 1 less. He has dropped back 38 more times. Is 38 more times enough for 1 less turnover-worthy play?
That's like a game's worth 38.
Ironic that these guys weren't named.
I think it's no, because I just put the players that have the same amount of turnover-worthy plays. I named Lawrence, I named Dobbs, I named Mahomes. Ultimately,
Lamar has 2 less. He has 8.
Brock Purdy has 4.3% turnover-worthy plays. That's the 4th worst in the league. The only quarterbacks worth are Gardner Minshew, Mac Jones, and Desmond Ridder.
I think it's how
percentage.
The turnovers.
The percentage.
We're going to talk about this when we talk about Jalen Hurts.
Oh
and
no,
his
mine's
turnovers.
just solely turnover-worthy plays.
Oh yeah,
because you have Jalen Hurts, who has more turnover-worthy plays. Sam Howell, who has more turnover-worthy plays, who are tied with Purdy, is Dobbs, Lawrence, and Mahomes. But again, those guys have dropped back more than Brock Purdy.
Like Brock Purdy's at 215 dropbacks, like Drew mentioned. Lawrence is at 280. Mahomes is at 296. And Joshua Dobbs is at 258. And Joshua Dobbs isn't.
Yeah, I'm not really.
The percentage of turnovers isn't as high as Purdy, but I think Purdy's better than Joshua Dobbs.
The way that I can kind of counteract this point is we're gonna have a topic talking about Jalen Hurts in a couple of minutes, talking about are these turnovers overblown, right? Are we looking at these turnover-worthy plays, and are we overreacting to the amount of turnover-worthy plays when it comes to Jalen Hurts? Now, let's use that same energy for here. There's been some moments where, Brock has had some iffy throws and some bad moments, but at this point, where he is at his career right now, can't we overlook that? Are we going to overreact to them because it just doesn't fit the narrative? Or are we going to keep that same energy, understand that he is in year 2, barely played a full season's worth of games, almost at this point in time, and are we going to be consistent and say, you know what? He's still winning games. He still has some solid numbers. You did just lose this game against Minnesota, but against Cleveland, he left the field giving you a chance to win even on a down game, even when CMC goes down, even when Deebo Samuel goes down, even when Trent Williams gets hurt. He gives you a chance to win the game against a well better defense than what Minnesota is, and Minnesota has played okay. All I'm going to say is,
excuse me,
we like to pick and choose when we want to run with a narrative, and I understand that shit. I have agendas all the time, but it comes to a point where we need to stay consistent. Turnover-worthy plays. If you're being aggressive, I'm okay with that. You trust your arm. You're being confident. That's fine. That's what a winner does. Sometimes we see some guys get a little bit overzealous like Josh Allen, but we'll never criticize him. We'll never say that that's a bad thing that you think that you can fit into that tight window. We'll never do that. Of course, there's a difference between Josh Allen and Purdy, but at this point in his career, we shouldn't be over-critiquing when he's still playing winning football outside of this game versus the Vikings.
Here's a rebuttal to that. 2019, Jimmy Garoppolo starts with 49ers. They make the Super Bowl. Whatever. People like to say Jimmy G had little to no hand in it. I know the playoff performances weren't great. They weren't asked to pass the ball much. They dominated through the run game every single playoff game until the Super Bowl, and then Jimmy G didn't play well. But Jimmy G that year ranked 13th in PFF grade. He had a 3.5% turnover-worthy play percentage, which ranked 24th, which isn't bottom 4 like Brock Purdy right now. The big-time throw percentage was ranked 39th, so he wasn't making big-time throws down the field. And you look at that 49ers team versus this current 49ers team, you can understand why the big-time throws really aren't there. I mean, that team didn't get Emmanuel Sanders until midseason.
And that was rookie
they
Deebo.
They didn't really have the weaponry to really stretch the ball down the field. And Jimmy Garoppolo was awesome with the Niners. 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 102 passer rating in his first year as a full-time starter. I remember when Jimmy G was getting Tom Brady comps. And to your point about turnover-worthy plays and how much they matter, I think it matters if you are at a percentage where it's one of the worst in the league. Because even Josh Allen, where Josh Allen last year, he led the NFL in turnover-worthy plays. But he also led the league in big-time throws. Despite him being number 1 in turnover-worthy plays, he was PFF's 3rd highest-graded quarterback. And
Josh Allen.
Yeah, what he provided outweighed the value of his turnovers. With Jalen Hurts right now, I think a similar story is happening where, I mean, he's averaging 350 yards per game, on both through the air and through the ground. He has 2,095 total yards. He has 15 total touchdowns. He has 10 total turnover-worthy plays. He's 4th in turnover-worthy plays, only behind Mac Jones, Gardner Minshew, and Desmond Ridder with 11. So he has one more than Brock Purdy, but I think the reason why you can point to Hurts turnovers being a little bit alarming this year is because last year he was 45th in turnover-worthy play percentage. He was very safe with the ball. So this is a kind of a new adjustment to play style where Hurts is facing better defenses and he's turning the ball over a little bit more. The game where it really cost him was the Jets game. You look at Brock Purdy's turnovers, though, they have come in games where they have been down versus the Browns and versus the Minnesota Vikings. If Brock is turning over the ball like Jalen Hurts in the first, second quarter, then it still matters, but it doesn't matter as much as when the game is on the line. And I also don't think that the Eagles offense, at least this year, window dresses things as much as the Niners offense
That's
does.
not true, though, because Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy does turn the ball over when he's down. He's done it the last 2 games. But at the same time, Jalen Hurts turned the ball over against the Jets while they were up and cost them the game.
That's the game I point to,
Yeah,
yes.
but that's more impactful to me than Brock Purdy being down. Jalen Hurts literally cost them the game because he threw a back-breaking turnover.
I think Brock throwing back-to-back interceptions was worse than Jalen Hurts' last interception.
We can go back on worse.
Because Smitty dropped the ball.
It's the same
Smitty dropped
thing.
the ball that would have gave them a huge.
He did, but
huge gain.
But after that, he threw a horrible.
He did.
Realistically, it's
So
the
then,
same
do we
thing.
give Brock the pass for he turned the ball over against the Browns, but then bounced back on the last drive of the game?
Here's what I'll say. If you want to give Brock the pass, if everybody here wants to say he's a young quarterback, he'll learn from these
I'm
experiences.
talking about the Browns.
The Browns game, I don't think he gets a pass for that game.
Even though he put them in a position
Put
to
them in position to win.
Brandon Aiyuk had like 20 yards of yak. He gets
That's what
he
he's
gets
supposed
he
to
gets
do.
more of a pass
We just called
versus
Brandon Aiyuk
the
elite.
Browns than the Vikings because the Browns game it was raining and he did lose players within the game, but ultimately the difference between somebody like Brock Purdy is that what he's been showing us as of recently, I don't think is the final result of what we know he's going to be. Jalen Hurts last year, all year long, I was skeptical of him. In the Super Bowl, he had that performance. My question marks have been raised. Even with the increased turnovers this year, I'm not dropping Jalen Hurts into a 15th ranked quarterback. He's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league to me. Brock Purdy, I still think is a big unknown. But I do think that everybody else has been propping him up to be top 5, top 10. Let's put him in the MVP conversation. He has some sort of it factor that Tom Brady and Kurt Warner had. These are takes that people are saying about Brock Purdy.
But that's not most people. That's just a
That
real
is
select.
most people.
It's select few people.
It's
No, it's
ESPN.
not.
It's
ESPN. It's Fox. It's
you are
these
going
high
on
level
Twitter.
people
You're
doing
going
this.
on Instagram.
It's Michael
and you're
Irvin.
seeing comments,
It's
and you are
Stephen
bringing
A.
what they are saying to this table and assuming we think
If
the
we
same
put a
thing.
poll out right now, where would you rank Brock Purdy? I would imagine 70% of people would have him somewhere between 10 and 20.
Right now, Brock Purdy, to me, he is a system quarterback. I
don't disagree.
Is that a bad
I don't
thing?
think that's a bad
It's
thing.
not.
I think if you want to win a Super Bowl, he has to be more than that.
If
Not necessarily.
they almost
Yes.
won a Super Bowl with Jimmy G. If he
Yeah.
makes that throw to Emmanuel Sanders, they win the Super Bowl. I mean, Mahomes is Mahomes. Who knows? But they probably win that Super Bowl 90% chance, right? And they did it with the system quarterback. I think it's your expectations about Brock Purdy. If you think Brock Purdy has to be this MVP, has to be this top 5, then you're going to look for the moments Joel's talking about. You're going to look for the moments in that fourth quarter or when they're going up against a top defense or when they have injuries that, okay, Brock Purdy, it's time to elevate. But if your expectations of Brock Purdy is he's a system quarterback, there's moments he's going to make high-level throws. There's moments he's going to have elite anticipation and processing. But overall, he's not going to consistently outperform those top 8 to 9 guys in the NFL. That's how I view Brock. I think he's more than capable to lead this 49ers team to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. I mean, this defense, the last few games has definitely been alarming because they have not been that elite unit that we've seen in years past and even earlier this season.
For sure.
But if Brock Purdy can just do his job, which is for the most part, I know the turnover-worthy plays this year has gone up, but last year and this year at least the interceptions haven't been there. If he's taking care of the ball and he has shown moments that he could play in this system to even a better degree than Jimmy G at some point, who was putting up some insane advanced numbers, they're going to be able to win multiple playoff games. They're going to be able to go to the Super Bowl. It's just once you get into that biggest moment when he has to go up against Jalen Hurts in the NFC Championship game or Mahomes or Lamar, one of those other elite quarterbacks in the AFC, that's going to be the moment where you're like, damn, I wish we had just a little bit more juice at quarterback. But for the other 27 matchups you're going to have to go up against, you're probably going to be favored in all of those games.
Two narratives I just want to put to rest right now. This narrative that the 49ers defense has somehow become alarming is just ridiculous. They let up 22 points to the Vikings.
How many yards?
I don't care. It's about the points. How many points did the Vikings put up on the board? It was 22 total points.
It hasn't been
elite.
They got no sacks. They got no pressure.
I know, but it's not like they put up. It's
Right
not
now,
like they let up 40.
Right now, their pass defense is middle of the pack.
It's middle of the pack. I understand that, but versus the Browns, it was 19 total. It was 19 total points.
The Browns
offense
I think.
was
Listen,
Walker.
I think.
And we saw Amari Cooper still go for over 100.
Listen,
on them.
I think that the defense could be playing better. The pass defense,
That's all I'm saying.
outside of Charvarius Ward,
Vulnerable.
there's not
Yes.
a defensive back that I trust. I don't
Correct.
trust Lenore.
That's all we're saying.
Do you trust the Browns defense?
I still do.
The coach just let up how many points on them?
39-8.
So why are we being so critical of the 49ers when the Browns, they've gotten torched this
The Browns
season too.
had 4 turnovers. They had forced turnovers,
And
that
they
game.
still let up that many points.
But they had
That's my
like
point.
the thing is, they had 4 forced turnovers.
Let's not
that
act
game.
like coming back. Let's not act like your defense letting up 19 points and 22 points is this insurmountable
it's
thing
the
for Brock Purdy to overcome.
Cleveland
Justin
Browns
Herbert's
offense
team
isn't
lets up
good.
more than 5 more points than
For
that
sure.
every single game.
I'm
Like
with you.
I'm not giving
Justin
Brock Purdy a pass because he can't score
but
23
let me
and
ask
20
you,
points.
Are you being critical on Herbie?
No,
But why?
against the Cowboys.
because
he wasn't.
he is the reason they are in games.
But against the Cowboys, he was kind of the reason that they didn't win.
Versus the Cowboys was his blip.
But
The
he gets a pass.
Cowboys
And then what about against the Chiefs?
versus the Cowboys, Justin Herbert, that was the worst game I've seen him play.
I agree.
It was bad.
But then what about the Chiefs?
The Chiefs, he was solid. He was solid. In the first half, they did their thing. The Chiefs adjusted in the second half. But what I'm saying is that Herbert, this is a 4-year sample size now that they're only in games.
You know my
because
opinion
of
on
him.
Herbert.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, Brock Purdy, and I don't want to listen, Riv.
I'm just keeping the same
I don't
energy.
want you to get away with this because you now saying, "Oh, Brock Purdy around an 18 quarterback. This is where I rank him." All this, all that. After the Cowboys game,
Where did I have him?
After the Cowboys game,
did I have
you told me at the end of the day, the system quarterback narratives they've been put to bed.
don't think he's
That's
a
what
system
you
quarterback.
told me after the Cowboys game. After the Cowboys game, you said the truth of the matter is that Brock Purdy might win a Super Bowl before most of his peers in the quarterback
still
position.
100%
That's
can.
still
The
fair
fact that we're propping up this
comment.
guy as a Super Bowl champion, or even implying that he might win it over other guys, and just give him this accolade out of nowhere, I think is ridiculous.
What accolade?
'Cause
You think the
I
Niners
think
are coming out the
there's
NFC?
there's still a long way to go from right now to the Super Bowl. A lot of things can happen.
Dude, what are you saying?
And Brock Purdy, even after that Cowboys game, I'm not just gonna say, oh yeah, he's probably gonna win a Super Bowl before all these guys. He made throws that only 6-7 guys in the world can make. That's what you told me in that video.
said
he was
Yes,
dotting.
He had dots, but Riv was the one that said only 6-7 quarterbacks in the world can make. Brock Purdy, he has some great traits to him.
Tua has made some throws that only 6 or 7 guys in the world
That's
have
a
made.
fact.
Like it happens.
Tua
with
got a way better
quarterbacks.
arm than
But
Brock,
it-
though.
no, that doesn't mean anything. It sometimes
Not even
QBs
close.
get in their bag and they make some throws that only we see 6-7 guys do it consistently. You're upset that they beat the Cowboys like 40
I'm
points.
not upset about that. I don't
so
care about
that's
that
why
game.
you're upset.
But
I
the
don't
thing
care.
is, Joel,
I gave Brock his
Joel,
credit.
let me say that. Let me say this, because you just said you gave Brock his credit, but then it just can't.
You were
be
so
this,
quick to shit on
That's
him
what
as
I'm
soon
saying.
as he
It just
fucked
can't
up.
be that quick
All
180
season-
though.
After the Cowboys game, these last 2 weeks, he's turned the ball over. I've told you guys all season long that he's had turnover-worthy plays. I've told you
we've
guys that they
acknowledged
haven't showed up. Everybody's told
Showed
me
up.
he's this mistake-free quarterback, yet he's 4th in the NFL in turnover-worthy
Let me
play
ask you a
percentage.
question.
These turnover-worthy plays have shown up.
Because
They've just
turnover-
finally
if-
caught
if-
up to him. And versus the Vikings, there was some throws that he had no air on. The throw to Brandon Aiyuk when he was rolling out, and Brock Purdy threw a 10-yard pass, and it just died on him and hit the ground.
That's
I mean,
happened to Josh Allen before. It's happened to elite
that's a
quarterbacks.
10-yard throw.
That's
What are we
happened-
talking
that's
about?
happened
That happens to
Josh
Josh
Allen
Allen
against
on
Miami.
Ironically,
40-yard throws.
it
Literally,
happened
and you know what?
It happened to
that
Tua
was?
this
Brock
past
don't
weekend
got
too.
the
Dehls,
arm.
you know that's crazy? That was a game-winning
was- yeah,
drive.
that was
And
the
if
fourth
he makes
down,
that
wasn't it?
pass, he was wide open.
Yeah.
He makes that pass, Josh wins the game.
And you know what
It
got me
happens.
upset yesterday? It's Riv. Yesterday we was on a Patreon. We debated about this somewhat. And Riv is
Drop the
saying,
Patreon.
why don't you talk about Nick Bosa? Why don't you talk about all these other
you
players?
sat
After
there
the
and mute.
Cowboys game, all you did was talk about Brock Purdy. You
Because
ain't
the
talk about
topic-
Fred
4
Warner's game.
touchdowns.
You ain't talk about anybody else.
The topic
so
was Brock Purdy. He had 4
ultimately,
touchdowns.
I'm talking about Brock Purdy right now because he is the biggest reason why the Niners have lost
He's
the last
the
2
biggest
games.
reason?
Yes, he's
Not-
the biggest
not
Not the
reason
biggest
why.
reason they lost to the Browns. You're
Yes,
lying.
he
You're
is.
lying.
He threw an interception. Yes, he is.
Bro,
the
no,
worst-
Jake Moody's the reason they lost
Yo,
that game. He
this
had a
is
game-winning
getting
field
out
goal.
of
They
hand.
make
Yo,
on
My
average
bad,
like
my
80%.
bad. Brock Purdy is the second biggest reason why the 49ers lost to the Browns. Versus the Vikings, he was the first biggest reason
Shit,
why
he put
they
him in-
lost to the
he had a
they lost to the
game-winning drive
Vikings.
against
You're
the
not- you're listen,
Browns.
you're not-
He didn't have a game-winning drive because the game was not won. Stop lying.
That's whack. That's
What do
a
you mean
whack
the
orgy,
game was
statement.
not
bro.
won?
That's a whack
The game was not
statement.
won.
That's
He didn't have a
unfair.
game-winning
Let me ask you a
drive.
question.
They shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. We all had them winning. It was locked.
40-yard field
Did
goal's
Josh Allen
nothing.
walk off the field winning in that playoff game against the Chiefs?
Yes, but he didn't have a game-winning drive. They lost.
Did Josh
They lost.
Allen walk off the field
Yes.
winning?
Yes.
How? If
That
he
drive
didn't-
was
if
far
he
more
didn't end up
impressive
winning the game.
and that drive was
He
far
didn't
more
end up winning
impressive
it. You just
than anything
contradicted
Brock Purdy
yourself.
did.
You're
Brock Purdy
hating.
threw a
You're getting caught.
5-yard
You got
pass and
caught
Brandon Aiyuk
again.
took it 20 yards for
That's what you-
What are you
you
talking
just
about?
called him an elite
That
team.
wasn't even a great. That
You
wasn't
just
even a
called
great
him an
play.
elite tier
Brock Purdy on
receiver.
that
Well, I
last
wish
drive
that
didn't
for
even
more
do
than
anything
this
great.
little
He
baby
didn't
ass
do anything
bonus.
great against the
I knew
Browns.
3+ 3-pointers was a lock.
He didn't do anything
Versus
against the top 3
after the
defensive
Cowboys game in the podcast, I
Justin
mentioned
Herbert
I
didn't
mentioned the
do shit
defense and I
against the
had Riv
Cowboys
rolling his
either,
eyes.
bro. The same team Brock Purdy he destroyed. Justin Herbert play like shit.
So Justin Herbert's worse then.
No. Listen,
I don't care about whatever you guys say then, because Brock Purdy's not better.
What I'm saying is, no matter how elite you are in the league, you still don't get a pass. We have to critique who you are. We can critique Mahomes. You love to think he's just perfect machine. You can critique Mahomes. You can critique Josh Allen.
He is the most
you can
perfect
critique
everybody.
Tom Brady.
Everybody.
We critique Peyton Manning. You can still do it with the top guys, even though there's a gap.
Yes, you can.
And the way you're critiquing Brock Purdy is insane to me, because you are acting like this guy can't make a single mistake. Like, he has to be
He's making the fourth most mistakes in the league right now. He's making the fourth
Kill
most mistakes in the league right now.
Turnover-worthy plays.
That's a great stat.
Bullshit-ass
So
stat.
did he make a mistake versus the Vikings? Who lost the game versus the Vikings? It was
I
Brock
said he
Purdy.
did.
He threw 2
I said he
interceptions in the
did.
final 2
I said he
drives,
did.
and he lost
I
the
said he
game.
did.
Versus the Browns, he threw an interception before the final
They
drive,
had a-
and he lost the game.
Dude,
What are we
he
talking about?
missed
They
a
should have never been in a
field
position
goal.
to begin with Jake Moody. They
Wait,
should have never been in that position. You picked the 49ers in back-to-back weeks. They lost in back-to-back weeks. What are you talking about?
Joel,
Brock
that's
Purdy.
stinks.
Brock Purdy. And you know what's funny?
Only talk about the
40-yard
Vikings.
field
Not
goal,
only.
bro.
You know,
You
always bring up the Browns.
He wasn't good against the Browns.
85%
He
of them
wasn't
in
good against the
NFL
Browns.
history,
But he
He
40-yard
had
field
2
goals.
All-Pro players, and we're gonna give him a pass now because he lost 2 All-Pros, but he still got 2 All-Pros.
told me-
What are you
but
talking
listen,
about?
Who are
But
the
you
two
told me
other
CMC
All-Pros?
George
was
Kittle's an
MVP.
All-Pro, and Brandon Ayuk's on his way to being that
Okay,
type
but
of
he's
receiver
not
right
yet.
now.
He's not yet.
He's not.
He's a Pro Bowler at least.
So if you lose your MVP,
So is Tyler Huntley.
like if you lose your MVP in a game, you're supposed to win that.
You think Brock Purdy's the MVP though? They weren't supposed to
didn't.
lose.
You're a liar. You
They
keep
wasn't.
lying. Why do you
You
keep
had him in the
lying?
MVP conversation.
I said he
was.
should be in the conversation. I
so-
never said he was
Was he
MVP
not?
of the team.
Where would you have
Oh my
Brock
God.
right now amongst quarterbacks?
Like ranked?
Yeah.
Like 16, 17.
Okay, that's valid. I think that's fine.
but
If
No, this is
you
the thing.
are
He
in
has
the
been-
MVP conversation, you are
no,
calling him
that's
an
a lie.
MVP caliber player.
No, see,
Yes, you
no,
are.
This is the thing with him. He likes to
You lose
spin.
CMC and
He
MVP
likes to
conversation
spin-
guy can't
he
win a
likes
game.
to spin a conversation and make it seem like I said things I
put
did
them-
not
They
say.
lost CMC and they were in a position to win.
Yeah. Regardless,
They
of,
lost CMC and
they
they still
were
had
in
the
a position-
MVP guy in the conversation.
And
They lost.
but they were in a position to win.
Ayuk had 20 yards after the catch that put them in that position.
CMC fucking fumbled in the red zone. Do you care
Against-
about that?
That's a
No,
good
of course
point.
I care about that.
No, does that matter? Is that
CMC
the
not
reason
my
they lost?
MVP.
Yeah,
He's
you-
not my
you-
MVP.
But you
He's more valuable than Brock Purdy to the offense for sure, but an
none of them are
MVP
my
in the league.
MVPs, bro.
Brock Purdy was in your MVP conversation, was he not?
I said after that Dallas game, because I have to repeat it again for the 1,000th time, I said he should be in the conversation. You said in that same conversation, there's 10 dudes in an MVP conversation. I said, okay, put Brock Purdy in that 10 dudes. I didn't rank him. I didn't put him in I just said, have him in the conversation.
So after the
I even
Cowboys
said,
game, where did he
I
rank?
even said, put CMC in the same conversation. And I even went further and said, CMC's above Purdy. So you keep lying to make it a fit your agenda. It's crazy. Drew was sitting right
keep
next
moving the
to me.
goalposts.
I'm
You keep
not
moving the
moving
goalposts.
the goalposts.
Brock Purdy
That's what I said.
after the
That's
Cowboys
what he said.
That's what he
it's
said.
revisionist history.
I said. I
It's
was
revisionist
there.
history.
I was
It's
there.
revisionist history because after the Cowboys game was Brock Purdy more of an MVP to you than CMC
That
after
night,
the Cowboys game.
That night,
No, after the Cowboys
We had
game,
an
in
episode
totality
after the
of the
Cowboys
league.
game,
Yeah.
and I said CMC is ahead of Brock in the MVP
No, you did not.
No,
No, you
no,
did not.
no,
You
no.
had Brock Purdy
Yes.
ahead of other guys
Yes.
in the MVP conversation.
Who, like who?
So you're telling me
like who?
within
I had him over Lamar?
you're telling me
I
within
had him over Lamar.
You
I had him over Josh.
I definitely think you had him over 3-4 quarterbacks that we mentioned. You might have had him over Patrick Mahomes after week 5, bro.
Are you serious?
Yes, because
Okay, you
Drew
know
was
what? If
in
you
your
wanna
ear.
lie- if you
Drew
wanna-
was in your ear telling you, yes, he's been playing better than Mahomes. I remember
I
that
didn't say he
vividly.
was playing
Drew
better than
wasn't even
Mahomes.
speaking.
Jesus.
You said yes,
No,
you
he's
did.
not.
Yes,
No,
you
I
did.
did not.
Yes, you did. I
No,
100%
I
remember you
didn't.
did. You said
No,
you
you
said
are
Riv
creating
Brock
something in your
Purdy.
brain.
He has more of an MVP case than Patrick Mahomes right now. You
Just
did
because
say that.
he
You
said
stopped
don't
lying.
mean I said the
Stop
same
lying.
thing.
But then you agreed with half of the names that he said. Ultimately, you're telling me in the span of week 5 to week 7, Purdy has dropped out of the MVP conversation. He's not even in discussion no more. After 2 weeks, you've given up on that narrative.
Is that all right, though?
Is
that all right?
No, is he in the MVP conversation right now?
I think he can still be in the MVP conversation.
So stop telling me that. Stop giving him a pass for losing these games
didn't
if you
give
still
him a-
think
I
he's that
didn't give him
caliber
a
of
pass.
player.
You
He's
are-
a
I
16th
didn't give
ranked
him a
quarterback to you in the NFL, and he can't win a
Okay.
game versus the Minnesota Vikings, who have been one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and cost them
okay,
the game.
and Nick
Back-to-back
Bosa-
drives,
Nick
2
Bosa won
interceptions.
Defensive
He's not
Player
an
of the
MVP.
Year and didn't produce a single fucking sack.
He got more leeway to be bad than Brock Purdy.
And that's the problem.
don't matter.
That's the
whack.
problem.
That's
the
whack.
problem.
That's
Right right here.
does.
You are
It's a
giving
whack
dudes passes
statement.
because you have this. You wake up in the morning every day. You go on Twitter. You go on Instagram. You look at the hate. You look at people dick riding Brock Purdy, and you bring it here, and you assume that we come. We have a group chat, fellas. We have a group chat. I don't talk about Brock Purdy. I literally sit in the chat. I don't even answer it like that. We talk about football. Sundays, I go to myself. I watch the Browns. I watch the Eagles. I watch Justin Fields. I watch Justin Fields if he's on fucking TV. And this dude has the nerve, the audacity to sit there and say these dudes get a pass when you openly said they're more valuable on the team. So if that's like telling me, yo, Steph Curry's the most valuable player on the team, but I need you to critique Moses fucking Moody. Are we fucking serious right now? Why would I do that?
No, it's not.
Doesn't even
That's
make
so
sense in my
stupid. That's
brain.
so stupid, Rick.
You have to critique
No. That's so stupid,
everybody
Rick.
on
That's
the
so
team.
stupid, Rick.
You
Going from
start with
Steph Curry to most Moody is ridiculous. You know what, Rick?
You know what, Rick?
You know what, Rick?
Every single body on the team.
Nick Bosa had a bad game. Even with that bad, yes,
Purdy does. It's a problem.
Even with Nick Bosa having a bad game, and I never said it wasn't a problem because Christian Darrisaw owned him tonight. Christian Darrisaw is elite. Yes, I haven't talked about Nick Bosa. When Brock Purdy beat the Cowboys, did you talk about Fred Warner? Did you talk about the defensive line? You talked about nobody outside of Brock Purdy after the 49ers beat the Cowboys.
Who was the best
so
player?
now when Brock Purdy loses, I just got to talk about everybody else. But Brock Purdy, what are we talking about? Even with Nick Bosa,
who was the best player?
Even with Nick Bosa,
It was Purdy.
Even with Nick Bosa having 0 sacks, Brock Purdy had a chance to win the game twice and folded. He threw 2 interceptions.
Wait, Joel, so
what are we talking about?
He also had a concussion.
He lost them the game. He lost them the game.
Joel, the Cowboys game.
He lost them the game.
Cowboys game. You gave everybody respect. You said, shout out to the defense.
I started with Brock Purdy first.
That's what, listen, this is why I'm getting you, because you're caught again, because I always catch you.
You don't
You
catch
said you credited Brock Purdy, you credited Fred, you credited the defense. You gave everybody credit when they won. But yet when they fucking lost, you didn't speak about none of them dudes on the other side. All you spoke about was Brock Purdy. I always catch you being a hater and a capper. I caught you again. You didn't say a thing about nobody else but Brock Purdy. But let it when they win, your front run to the front, and you sat there and said, yeah, Brock Purdy was amazing. I'm Brock Purdy neutral. But the next week he plays bad, in which the kicker missed a field goal.
I'm sorry.
You couldn't wait to jump up in there.
I'm sorry.
And now you're on a Sam Darnold bandwagon.
I'm
He's
sorry.
been ass for most of his
Okay,
life.
whatever.
And you're
Okay,
like,
whatever.
oh,
Okay, whatever.
I caught you again.
All right. When Brock Purdy, the
Caught you
biggest
again.
reason why the Niners lost to the Vikings, makes the biggest mistakes, I criticize him more than everybody else. My bad, Riff.
You
I remember
Jalen Hurts for a fumble in the second quarter.
Yes,
After
because it was a bad turnover. Yes, and he was.
But why don't you?
He was amazing.
You criticize.
I said,
you hate
wait, hold
most.
up. No, wait. I said Jalen Hurts played a great Super Bowl game. The argument was, did he play better than Mahomes? I still think he did not. Because of that turnover, it matters. Now, Riff, I'm sorry for not mentioning everybody on the team, right? It's not like you don't do a similar thing. When Kevin Durant lost Game 7 versus the Bucs, all you mention is 0 for 6 in overtime. You don't mention Joe Harris. You don't mention James Harden. You don't mention Blake Griffin. You don't mention nobody. You just mention KD. But when 49ers lose, when the 49ers lose, you want me to mention everybody on the roster outside of the biggest reason why they lost in Brock Purdy? Brock Purdy was the biggest reason they lost. That's why I'm going to mention him first.
You're not helping
what are we
yourself.
talking about? You
You're
don't
not
even talk about other players. When the biggest players fold the most, you only talk about them. When the Celtics, when
Josh Allen folds the fuck up, who's the first person that says he folds? Dehls. When Josh Allen fucks up, who's the first dude there? It's always me.
When Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown folded, when Tatum folded in the finals, when Jalen Brown folded in the ECF, did Riff talk about fucking Derek White? Did he talk about Al Horford? Did you talk about anybody else? You talked about the best player and the biggest reason why they lost. That's why right now I'm talking about Brock Purdy because he's the biggest reason he's the biggest reason they lost versus the Vikings, bro. He's the biggest reason why.
No, not the pass defense.
They let up 22 points.
How many yards? Almost 400.
Look at the last couple of drives the Vikings had. It was punt, punt, punt. The 49ers gave them a chance to win the game. And Brock Purdy folded. That defense gave them a chance. Stop playing.
How many third downs did the Vikings convert?
8 for 13.
8 for 13. They couldn't get off the field.
Look at the final drives of the game. Look at the final drives of the game. I'll look at it right now.
So let me get this straight. When it comes to defense, as long as they don't score a lot of points, the defense was great. But now turnover-worthy plays, as long as they have a sane amount of turnover-worthy plays, this guy is a turnover efficient. Like, what are we doing here? This doesn't make sense.
In the second half,
consistent with your argument.
In the second half, 49ers punt. Vikings field goal. 49ers touchdown. Vikings field goal. 49ers field goal. Vikings punt. After the punt, Brock Purdy interception. Vikings missed field goal. After that interception.
Vikings
so two missed field goals. Two missed field goals.
He ignored that.
Two missed field
He
goals.
tried
It
to
was
run from that.
No, it was a punt and a missed field goal.
I thought you said missed field goal early on
Vikings
too.
missed the field goal.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Vikings missed the field goal and the Niners missed
No,
the
the
field
Niners
goal.
did not miss a field goal.
No, they didn't. I heard
Didn't
you
they do
mention
early?
two missed field
No,
goals.
no. It was this. It was 49ers touch in the second half. 49ers punt, Vikings field goal. 49ers touchdown, Vikings field goal. 49ers field goal, Vikings punt. 49ers interception, Vikings missed field goal, 49ers interception.
Okay. That seems
So you're telling me this defense gave them a chance 2 times down the stretch and Brock Purdy folded. That's why I'm talking about him the most.
I know the Vikings.
So stop talking to me about Nick Bosa.
No one was really great outside of Fred.
The Niners as a whole, they weren't a good team that day. Like, they weren't.
And Brock Purdy was worse.
And
Hufanga
played well too. Outside of that, they did not play
if the
well.
49ers, if the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl, the biggest reason why would be Brock Purdy. He will be the biggest reason why. It won't be the defense. It won't be CMC. It won't be Ren Aiyuk. It will be Brock Purdy.
That doesn't hurt me at all.
And this weekend, when the 49ers play,
if Dallas doesn't win the Super Bowl, who's going to be the fucking problem?
I don't give a fuck, bro.
It's gonna be
I'm
Dak,
not a Cowboys
right?
fan.
Why? That's your team to come out
Bro,
the
I don't
NFC.
know. I'm not a Cowboys fan,
right? It's going to be Dak.
Yes, it will be Dak.
It
will be Dak.
But Dak is,
if
but
quarterback
Dak is
plays bad, you're
but
probably gonna lose.
he don't sit here and give Dak all this hate. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you only doing this because
What do
it's
you
Brock
mean?
Purdy. It doesn't matter.
What did I talk about with Dak Prescott after the Niners game? What did I say after him?
You're done with
I said I'm done with Dak. I never said I wasn't. Was I defending him after that game? What are we talking about?
How could you? Brock Purdy exposed him.
I didn't. Brock Purdy, the offensive player exposed the offensive player. What are we talking about here? Like the 49ers defense was amazing. Fred Warner was amazing.
The Cowboys defense was supposed to be cream of the crop.
So let me ask you this. Let me give you this scenario. If Sam Darnold this weekend plays well against the Bengals,
you shouldn't be surprised. Bengals defense not that good.
It's the system, though. If Sam Darnold plays well against the Bengals and he leads the 49ers to victory, it proves that Brock Purdy's even more of a system quarterback.
One game,
no, but here's what
one game,
something else could prove.
Where Purdy was undefeated up until 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Yes, he's still a system quarterback.
You see where this
Jimmy
goes.
G
Here's
was
where
5-0 when he first got traded to the 49ers.
Here's where someone doesn't get exposed. Let's say the Niners happen to win. Let's say they happen to win, and Sam Darnold throws for like 190 yards.
Jimmy G.
That's
the real Jimmy G.
What happens then? What do we talk about then?
If that happens, I'll say Sam Darnold is not cut for it. And Brock Purdy's way better. But what if Sam Darnold throws for 250 and 2 touchdowns and they win? What are you going to say? Is he still garbage?
That's Brock Purdy's numbers, 250 and 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. So we're saying the backup can do what Brock Purdy can do. So he's not valuable. He's not
The Bengals defense has not been that good this year.
I'm going to be honest with you. I love
Matthew Stafford had a worse game versus he didn't have those numbers.
They were pressuring Matthew Stafford and his offensive
Geno
line's
Smith
not
didn't have
good.
those numbers. So great quarterbacks have
Geno
not played well
Smith
against the
has
Bengals.
been one of the worst quarterbacks in terms of turnover-worthy plays also.
Yes, he's still been fine, though. He's
fine. He's fine. You know, the stat doesn't matter with Geno Smith. You know, Joel.
Because the offensive line is significantly worse than the 49ers.
Geno Smith actually has less dropbacks than Brock Purdy and has one less turnover-worthy play.
What does that mean? It means that Geno's turning the ball over less. That's what you just told me with that stat.
He has less dropbacks. He has less dropbacks, and he has one less.
That mean
Brock Purdy still has a higher turnover percentage play. Geno might be top 10.
See, but then how fair is that though? Because we're talking about all these guys that have more dropbacks, but it's okay that they have the same amount.
This not a Geno Brock thing. I could give a damn about Geno.
What the fuck? You just mentioned Geno Smith. Did you not about against the Bengals?
Yes, the Bengals defense. Let's not act like this Bengals defense is just a defense that quarterbacks can feast on. It's not that defense.
I'm saying it's not that good.
It's not that defense, Drew. Matthew Stafford didn't have a good game against them. Neither did Geno Smith. If you want to say Geno Smith is mid, whatever, okay. But Matthew Stafford, who's a top 10 quarterback right now, who's playing at that level, had a bad game against the Bengals.
They're not an elite defense. They're not bottom.
They're not an elite defense, but that defense still is good. It's not a bad defense,
again,
bro.
The stat does not matter unless it pertains to Brock Purdy.
I never said it didn't matter.
That was essentially.
You literally just said I don't give a fuck about Geno
No,
Smith.
I don't care about that and pertains to this conversation with Geno Smith.
But you used the Mahomes. You used who'd you use?
That stat to me, what that tells me is that Geno Smith is turning the ball over this year, which is not what I did. I expected that. What didn't I tell y'all that I wouldn't be surprised if Geno leads league in interception this year? I'm expecting that.
I'll be honest, Joel. I love you to death. You my brother. You have gone to the depths of hell to make this hate of Brock Purdy in your soul.
I don't hate Brock Purdy.
It's because of
I hate y'all overrated him. That's what I hate. I hate y'all overrated him.
Outside noise.
He's the 16th best quarterback.
It's outside noise.
He was talking crazy like he was the MVP after the Cowboys game.
Joel,
in 2 weeks he's dropping down that far.
Okay, Joel, what you need to do is you need to stop coming in here thinking this is what we do. You had Dallas. We had the Niners. We were talking shit in the offseason. So, yes, we're going to come in and talk shit to each other. It is all jokes. You need to stop, bro. Relax. Take a breather. Get some water. Please.
Brock Purdy was 5-0 with like a 10-1 touchdown interception ratio. Of course he's going to be in the MVP conversation. Like, how is he not?
You think he's not a system quarterback? I do. That's the debate.
No. The debate originally was.
Do you think he's a system quarterback?
No, I don't think so. I think he has.
And I think he's a system quarterback.
He's in year 2.
That's all I said.
I think he can
I
get
think
better.
he's a system quarterback.
If he's a system quarterback, oh my God, I'm wrong. It's not a fucking big deal. But you first of all, you started this conversation with Sam fucking Darnold because you swear he's going to take his job. And then on top of that,
Sam Darnold's going to play well.
You bring up Jimmy G's 27-13 year, which is fine. He was 28 years old. Brock Purdy is 24, 23 years old. He has so much room to improve. And the problem that I have with you about Purdy, the real issue is you act like he can't get better. That's my issue. You act like that man cannot.
Bro. He's
act
coming
like
off a
can't get
UCL
better.
injury.
You really just think he's in year 11. This is who he's going to be. Bro, he's in year 2. He can get better. You keep talking about he's the next Jimmy G. Jimmy G was that at 25, 26 years old. Brock Purdy has a ways
now
to
first
go.
he was 28, now he's 25, 26. Which is
I'm
it?
saying
I don't
when
know.
he first got to the Niners, we all knew what he was, but then he had that 27-13 year, which was when he was 28 years old. That was the peak of his powers, which means Brock Purdy has 3 to 4 years, which he might throw about 25-5 this year. He might get close to that.
This is my thing though. I just don't want to assume that he's just going to do all these things like you. I'm not assuming any of those things.
Anybody else. It's called projecting. It's not assuming.
So you're projecting, and I think your projection is wrong. That's why we got into the debate.
You just said you don't want to assume, which
All right,
doesn't make
this
sense.
is what we're gonna do. Let's move on to the next.
So
topic.
you think he's being petty?
When
you get to a Purdy argument, you get petty. That's why you're never right, because you get extremely petty about it.
No, you're obviously not right about it because he's a system quarterback.
Yo, I'll tell you what, Riv fucking right on the money. The year that Jimmy G was great, 28 years old.
Yes.
So then,
but then he said 26, 25. So I said,
when he first got to the Niners,
which is correct.
Yeah.
2019 was just okay. It's 2 years after that.
No, Riv was spot on.
I know.
Yeah, that's all I said. I just wanted to know because I heard 2 numbers and I asked him what number is it. I wanted to know.
You thought I was wrong, and unfortunately,
I wanted to know what number it was.
I'm with Riv there.
You wanted to be petty.
We got 8 more topics to get to, fellas. So we could talk about Brock Purdy for another hour,
Joel,
but I would love to move on. I would love to move on and talk about Jalen Hurts. We got
See, this is exactly why I wanted to cut 2 topics. This is exactly why I wanted to do it.
You knew this shit was about to be 50 minutes, bro.
He does this every week. Why do we keep having Brock
Like,
Purdy? Let's save Brock Purdy to the playoffs.
I was going to say we need at least 2 weeks off from Brock Purdy.
Did you
if
forget?
He doesn't play this week,
he doesn't play this week.
Did y'all forget about the Tua conversations last year? Did y'all forget it was every single fucking
Now, Riv is hilarious. When Brock Purdy played well, we got to talk about Brock. Cowboys, we got to talk about him. After the 2 bad games, I just don't want to talk about Brock no more.
No, Dallas.
Get out of here.
When Dallas got their ass whooped, we were supposed to go live Sunday night.
That's the number one debate.
We were supposed to go live Sunday night, and dudes was tired.
It wasn't me that said
I'm saying dudes was tired.
So we can put that to bed. No one was tired. No one was tired.
That's the only reason we missed Tuesday. Because Sunday night was supposed to be the night I was on your ass, and I was going to tell you that them boys was garbage. That's what happened, but we had to talk about it on Tuesday.
And then Drew said, let's not do the
biggest game of the week.
It sure was.
It was the matchup we were all looking forward to. Dallas and San Fran, the top 2 teams.
You've been circling that for a while.
Sunday night football.
And Brock Purdy and the Bengals were supposed to, but now Sam Darnold was playing. It's not the biggest matchup of the week. We don't care.
It's not the biggest matchup until Sam Darnold puts up numbers that are similar to Brock, and now you're like, oh, you know what? It might be the system.
You think
like it was with Jimmy G.
So you say if just one more question. If Sam Darnold throws 300 fucking yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions, 0% turnover worthy plays, right? He does that for 2 to 3 weeks. You think Kyle Shanahan will bench Purdy?
I don't think Brock Purdy will be out for that long. If Sam Darnold just has this one game that he's great, I think he goes back to Brock. If Brock is injured for a multitude of weeks, which I doubt, and Sam Darnold plays that well for 3 weeks, it's a conversation.
Right. Because you're Shanahan.
No, it's a conversation because Alex Smith was benched for Colin Kaepernick in the middle of a huge run.
Colin Kaepernick also was
he was insane.
Alex Smith was one of the top quarterbacks that year until he got hurt.
Yeah, but Colin Kaepernick also gave you dual threat ability.
Yeah, he was unlocking that off.
And Sam Darnold can make more throws than Brock.
Based off what?
based off his arm talent. He can make more throws.
That's why
With
he's
the
a
Jets,
backup.
even statistically, Sam Darnold made some great throws with the Jets. Did he not?
No,
It's not.
That's
So
why he's a backup.
okay, that's why he's a
That's why he
backup.
was
He got
competing for a
fed a
number
bad
2 spot.
situation.
The thing
It's
is,
what it is.
I think Sam's going to play well this weekend.
I think he is too. But the problem is now, unfortunately, when he plays well, there's going to be some nasty ass agendas that we're going to have to listen to and hear from our comrade.
So
Gillespie.
if Sam Darnold plays extremely
okay with
well,
that.
if Sam Darnold plays extremely well, that's not an indictment, at least a little bit on Purdy. It just doesn't matter.
I wouldn't say it's an indictment because, again,
Because
he's
Purdy's been
in his
playing
second
good
year.
too. Yeah.
Yes, but it does not show that, wow, you can almost put a ton of quarterbacks in this situation and they will be amazing.
Here's the thing.
Maybe we shouldn't overrate this guy.
I can't-
because everybody can do what he's doing.
I won't do
Where do
that.
you have him ranked? 20th?
Right now,
You have
he's
like
around an
24 quarterbacks ahead of
18th
him.
quarterback in the league to me.
Oh, the
right now.
PFF ranking.
No.
He
Let me
did a
see.
list. I
I
saw
did a
him tweet it
list.
out.
And this is mostly,
I'm 100%.
he's 15. He's above Baker, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Derek Carr, Tannehill,
So
Pickett,
you have him
and
at
other
15.
guys.
So you
I have him
actually
at
have him
15.
higher than us.
Russ wouldn't
Yeah,
go to
we're
San Fran
overrated.
and dog.
Got it.
Because I said he's system quarterback. You're
Can
saying
I ask
he's
you a
not.
question? Russ wouldn't go to San Fran and dog.
He would.
I was
He
gonna
wouldn't
say-
hit. He wouldn't hit the middle of the field throws that Purdy would hit.
I don't
though.
disagree though.
Yeah.
But they would work the outside and they would push the ball downfield.
I don't think Russell Wilson is a fit for the system. Nathaniel Hackett runs a similar system, obviously not to the degree of Shanahan, and Russ wasn't a fit.
So high.
That's why I don't know about that. But
But
Russ is
Sam
a better
Darnold.
player. Yes.
But Sam Darnold would play better than
Oh,
Russell
Cade
Wilson.
has 9 in the first quarter. We're
Sam.
here.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Sam Darnold.
2 turnovers though.
I have to see. We
You
don't
understand
know.
what I
We
mean?
no, I know what
That's
you mean.
all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is historically though with Russ, that's been his deficiency.
I don't
He doesn't
disagree.
hit that. So in an offense where they want you to just target there, I don't know if it's the seamless fit. That's all I'm saying. Riv, the fact that when it's an agenda that benefits you, we gonna talk about the agenda. We gonna talk about some nasty agendas.
This is where I'm with
but,
Joel.
but now when it's benefiting me,
Joel,
this guy's gonna be an agenda guy. Oh my
Joel,
God,
the
I'm
difference-
crying now because he's gonna
Well,
talk
I'm not-
about
First
it.
of all, I'm not crying.
Come on,
You're the
what
one
are we
sweating.
talking about?
You're hot.
It's
chilling.
hot in here. We got lights
'cause you're
pointing at
yelling.
us.
Second of all,
yelling.
to be honest, Joel, I don't make the topic list for football or basketball. You make the topic list. So when
I make the topic list. You're free.
You make the topic list.
That's
So
not true. That's not true.
What do you
because
mean?
I tried to eliminate some topics and we didn't.
God,
All I'm gonna say.
you make
You
the topic
try to eliminate
specific.
2 topics that are easy, that are breeze
no,
by.
they are
TikTok
easy.
by.
They are easy.
You
in
make
hindsight.
so you get real, and what people don't know, and you think you get slick, you get specific and real funny with your wording.
It's true.
Hence why I don't sit here and be like, we need
Right.
to have a Brock Purdy topic. I don't want to talk about it.
Why
every week.
wouldn't we talk about Brock Purdy?
You had to. You had to.
I understand when we need to, fine. But you make it seem like I sit here and because my Brock Purdy agenda is winning, I go up there and say, "Let's talk."
Like
about
you think
it.
I
don't.
wanted to talk about Tua after the Chargers game? You think I wanted to do that?
I understand.
What
Like,
if we
I
talked
had to.
about Jalen Hurts? What if we talked about his turnover plays? Because I can't listen to fucking Brock Purdy's name another hour and a half, or I'm gonna
Last
shoot my
sentence,
brains
Riv.
out.
Do I just set the record straight? Do I not ask you for your opinion?
No, I never. Okay, let me rephrase. I never say. I'm not
So
saying you're
don't
a
act like
dictator.
I'm
Take
this
the sweatshirt
dictator
off.
that just I'm like, yo, this
No,
the
no,
topic
that's
was
what I'm
just
saying.
it.
I'm not saying
I
you're a
asked for
dictator.
y'all
What I'm
opinions.
saying is you get very funny with your wording, which you know you do. You're a slickster. You get funny with your wording.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is Brock Purdy system quarterback? That's
You had it
straightforward.
first as Brock Purdy, the next Jimmy fucking G.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
You know why he had to move off? You know why he had to go to is Brock Purdy Jimmy G? Because he had another guy who was supposed to be Jimmy G. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's the gold standard of system quarterback.
That's like the
That's
Kirk
the
Cousins.
gold standard.
Jimmy G.
My
Cousins,
mid guy's
Carr with the
thriving. He has
Raiders.
my mid guy ranked higher than I have him, and his mid guys suck. So now I'm living life.
The Jordan Love bet is not off, Riv.
Justin Fields has missed 2 weeks. He's still is
Jordan
beating
Love.
him.
Do you want to cancel the bet?
No,
Or you want to
I-
keep going with
I'll
it?
be honest,
Yes.
Jordan Love looks cooked.
If he doesn't play this week, if he misses a week after this though,
Yeah,
Okay.
multiple weeks. I mean, what are you gonna do?
No, yeah, multiple weeks. I get
like
the
after,
benefit
if he
of
doesn't
that.
play after next week, it's quiet.
Okay.
But the fact that he's still leading, he's missed 2 weeks. Jordan Love sucks.
The Sam Howell and Love bet is going to go down to the wire, though.
It is.
They're even right now.
I can't.
What was it?
Touchdowns, I think, or
Total
whatever.
touchdowns?
Just
Never
I think it was
forget
better.
Fields
Yeah,
is beating both of them.
Yeah, and he's gonna be.
Hey,
out for a
listen,
month,
I had no
probably.
issue with Justin
No,
Fields.
you're my guy. This guy, though, Jordan Love. You still want him? Give me a running back.
You guys been talking about
I'll
this
trade
running
for him
this
right
Jordan
now.
Love trade
Send the
for
worst running back
fucking
you have.
weeks.
All right, Dehls, you could talk about the Hurts and turnovers.
Okay, finally. Well, look at this. Not a Brock Purdy topic. So Jalen Hurts, this season has been turning the ball over a lot, right? Specifically compared to last season where he was basically not turning the ball over at all. So we have all these other quarterbacks, right? The Josh Allens, the Dak Prescotts, where we shit on these guys, right? Specifically Dak, I think, who, when you look at that 49ers game, multiple interceptions, even the playoff game last year, you're like, damn, like, for what I'm paying Dak Prescott, I can't have him play this bad. So the question is, does Jalen Hurts, his turnovers, does he deserve criticism for them? And now I think all quarterbacks, depending on the turnovers, you deserve criticism.
I was going
right?
to say, not all turnovers are created equal.
Absolutely. Like the last interception against the Jets where he is just eyeing down Dallas Goedert and it gets picked off, that's a terrible interception. That is a bad interception. Doesn't matter if it's Hurts, Mahomes, Tom Brady, that is a bad interception. But I think the biggest difference between when you're debating these top-end quarterbacks, the Jalen Hurts, the Josh Allens, the Mahomes to an extent, compared to guys like Dak Prescott, it's what do you do when you're not turning the ball over? Are you able to make these insane splash plays that could get you into the red zone, get you into the goal line situations in one play? Jalen Hurts can do that. He's done that multiple times just this past week against the Dolphins. I mean, the one throw when he's rolling out to the right, he looks like he's about to go out of bounds. He looks up, A.J. Brown's wide open, makes a nice throw on the run. And then the other one with pressure right in his face, it's kind of a fuck it, A.J.'s down there somewhere, but still puts a perfect ball, and A.J. might even have better tracking, and his hands are insane to come down with that between two defenders. So the highs that Jalen Hurts give you, that Josh Allen give you, you mentioned it when we were talking about Purdy. I am living with the turnover-worthy plays. I'm living with the 50-50 balls where, is it a risky throw? Absolutely. But when you have one of the best quarterbacks, and in the Eagles' case, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, I'm fine with you making that throw. I'm fine with Jalen Hurts going in and out of the pocket, trying to make guys miss in the backfield, because more often than not, positive plays happen from that. It feels like a lot of this year, specific compared to last year, and we mentioned this a couple weeks ago, I think on the live reaction, is this Eagles offense has been much more traditional drop back. It has not been so RPO heavy and quick game heavy. They've been trying to push the ball down the field at a higher rate, and there's been some moments of excellence with Jalen Hurts, and there's been some moments where he screwed up, like in that Jets game. So to kind of wrap it up, all quarterbacks, all of their turnovers, we should be looking at it and saying what other plays were available on the field. Was the check down open? Was the opposite guy on the field? And it's not always black and white, because we're not in the quarterback room, right? Like if in the quarterback room, it's saying this is read 1, this is read 2, this is read 3. If read 3 is open right away, it's hard to blame the quarterback because he has to get through that progression to get to the third read. So all the turnovers have to be critiqued, have to be criticized. But when you have such a high ceiling, you have these MVP-like performances like Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl, like Josh Allen has against the Chiefs in the playoffs. I'm living with the turnover-worthy plays, because you're just so special that you could have a turnover one possession, but the next drive you could have a 70-yard touchdown.
Very simple. If your turnover is worse, like Joel said, than another person's turnover, like some tip passes that just so happen to get intercepted, right? What are you supposed to do about that? How many times do we look at a receiver drop a ball, it gets tipped into a defender's hand, and that counts on the quarterback's resume, right? And if you're not watching the game, if you're not analyzing the game, and you're just looking at the box score, sure, we can criticize Jalen Hurts. But when you sit down and you understand and you watch a lot of these interceptions, sure, you can pinpoint a couple of them. The bigger issue, I guess you could say, is fumbling. You need to do a better job of securing the football. We talked about Lamar Jackson a little bit. He's one of those that is the league leader in fumbles. But again, when you make so many more bigger plays than you do of turnover-worthy ones, how are we going to criticize you? Jalen Hurts, what was his big question mark? How great can he be as a passer? Can you drop back 20 times a game and still be successful? He's done that. He's done that a good amount of times this season. We saw him do it against the Miami Dolphins. We saw him do it against the Rams, against the Commanders, and that defense is not that good, so that's not that much of a flex. But again, he's shown the capabilities against the Chiefs. He threw for over 300 yards.
You guys made the trade, finally.
Who?
Miles Sanders for Jordan Love.
I'm dead.
He can have that scrub.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Thank you. I
So,
Jordan Love.
So when you look at a guy like Josh Allen, right, because you have to go to a guy like Josh Allen when you're having a conversation of turnover-worthy plays, turning the ball over, you look at him and he's confident. He's aggressive. He's trying to push the ball down the field. He's trusting his receivers. Now, in a similar spot, if Jalen Hurts is doing the same thing, and again, it's resulting in points, he's one of the best offensive engines in football. How can we critique him? Now, you look at Dak Prescott, and we talk about that game versus San Fran. He had some terrible fucking throws. and back-to-back drives. So again, it comes to a point when you're watching the game, it's easier to analyze. There's a lot of people that box score watch, and that's on them, but that's not what we do. We can highlight some and pinpoint some moments during Jalen Hurts' season so far that we say, hey, I know Jalen wants those back, but in the grand scheme of things, he's been so explosive this season. How can we critique him when he's being aggressive?
You're related to basketball. Steph's dropping 30 a night. He might not be a great defender. Early in his career, he was a defensive liability. The offense outweighed the defense. It's similar to turnovers and big-time throws. Josh Allen last year, he had 33 turnover-worthy plays. He was still the third highest-rated quarterback. He had 52 big-time throws, which was number one amongst PFF quarterbacks in their database. Josh Allen is bringing much more values than he is losing with his turnovers. Jalen Hurts this year, I think it's a similar story.
Yep.
I do think the difference is that Josh Allen, his entire career, he's been known as somebody that turns the ball over, where Jalen Hurts has not. Last year was a very clean year, and now this year the turnovers have been there, and it did cost them against the Jets, and maybe it cost them down the line. We don't know. My issue with turnovers is that I feel like it matters for some quarterbacks, and it doesn't matter for other quarterbacks. And I relate this back to Dak Prescott because although he led the league in interceptions last year, he had 15. He had a turnover-worthy play percentage of 3.8%, which ranked 15th amongst quarterbacks with 100 dropbacks. That was average.
Yep.
Yet people viewed him in the light as the most turnover-prone quarterback in the league. In training camp when he threw an interception, the clips went viral. I think I have issue with it when we choose to nitpick certain turnovers for one quarterback, but for the others, we just act like it doesn't matter. The Josh Allen turnovers, while they do get overvalued, I do think that they do matter ultimately.
I'm with you.
The same thing with Jalen Hurts. The value he's bringing outweighs the negative of the turnovers, but they're still negative, and compared to last year, it's a much closer margin than it was. Last year, the positive value was here. The negative value was close to zero. This year, the positive value still up here, but the negative value of the turnovers is getting closer, is closing in on that margin.
Before you go, Riv, Buck Rising, who covers the Titans, is saying that the Ravens are the team most interested in trading for Derrick Henry.
Oh, my God.
That would be awesome.
I remember what I told you last episode. Hey, man.
That's what I said. We're pivoting off Saquon. Go get Derrick.
I agree. I agree with your statement. I think, though, with Jalen Hurts, it's been turnovers at the wrong time. I think it's all about timing with him. Like against the Dolphins game. In the Dolphins game, he had a point where we could have went up 21-7. We could have went up double digits at one point, and he turned the ball over. Like 2-3 weeks ago, he had an opportunity. We had an opportunity to go up big. He turned the ball over. Jets game, we had an opportunity to pretty much put that game in the coffin. Couple turnovers.
That's where
kept
it's
the game.
inexcusable.
Yeah, and I think even against Dolphins, it's inexcusable because we won, so you're not going to think about it too much. Mm-hmm. But when you go back in the film room, when you think, all right, we can't do this against certain teams, this can hurt us in the end. Teams could capitalize on this. I think the timing of it, like Josh Allen, perfect example, the timing of his turnovers be fucking insane. So when he does do it, it's like over-exaggerated, big moments. And I think at some point, they do haunt you in the end. And I think for Hurts, it's been all about timing for him. Like his turnovers this year have just been at the wrong time when the offense looks to be catching flow, catching rhythm. When we look like we can really put our stamping on this game, boom, we turn the ball over. Now they're back in the game. Now we make it to where we got to, really go in and win this game. And I think, we're 6-1. We only lost one game against the Jets. So that's one game that really hurt us. So luckily, as much as it's hurt us, we're a great team. So since we're a great team, we can overcome that. Jalen Hurts, like you mentioned, his big play overcomes the turnovers. He is a great quarterback, so he's going to overcome that. But those turnovers matter to a degree, and it should matter for every quarterback, especially when it's all about the timing and when you do it.
And it's like you look at this game versus the Miami Dolphins where he had that pick six. How do you bounce back from a turnover is also huge. Now, Tua, he's had his fair share of interceptions, but after an interception, that drive after, they're going down the field, Tua looks mint. I always say this jokingly on Twitter. There's no better quarterback after an interception than Tua, because when you I thought you were making fun of me. He actually had a burp.
Yeah.
No, but he's actually executing, because again, you have to get right after a big
If
mistake.
it wasn't for that,
That's a fact too. But I'm saying with that in mind, he had that tipped pass pick six. What did they do that drive after? They went down the entire length of the field and they scored a touchdown. Again, it's about understanding, hey, I made a mistake here. Let's go get some points on the next drive after. And that's when you're that great and you have those capabilities, yeah, pick six is detrimental. But again, a tip pass at the line of scrimmage leads to that type of score. Not all of them are created equal, but also there's not many that are as great as a Jalen Hurts, as a Josh Allen, that can overcome on the next drive and go get you those 7 right back.
I also want to say to both those guys, it's great to have that receiver. Because there was a couple times in that game where Jalen Hurts threw it to AJ, and he was 15 yards away. He's like, fuck it, I'm strong. Yep. And just threw somebody on the ground. With Josh Allen, against the Patriots, fourth quarter, he's just like, fuck it, Diggs out there somewhere. Diggs breaks off a tackle late. They scored 14
that was a fire-ass
in 5
touchdown.
minutes, So it was like, sometimes it's great to have that number one guy, that elite guy, to where you can get it to him, but he can make this into a touchdown. So credit to, the connection, because we are now here. We have the best duo in the league.
Oh, yeah. Lock it in.
Best duo in the league.
Mahomes,
That's
Kelce.
Tua and Tyreek.
Mahomes,
Well,
Kelsey's one.
You have
I'll
no
give him
Super Bowl
3.
appearance.
Give him 3.
You have no
Where's
appearance.
Burrow and Jamar?
TBD, man.
Right.
Watch this weekend.
At least 4.
Watch this weekend.
Yeah, and why would that be? Why would I have to watch this weekend?
Going up against a
Charvarius
fraudulent defense,
Ward.
maybe?
Interesting.
They faced them 2 years ago, though, and they had their way.
Well, Jamar Chase is going to get his. I don't care who he's going up against.
Didn't get his
7-11.
against the Browns.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
7-11.
Didn't get his against the
It
Browns.
was raining.
I was going to say, that first few weeks of the season.
doesn't count.
Now, these last couple of weeks, that Arizona game unlocked it a little
I'll
bit.
be honest, bro. He was throwing some good balls. He was just on the island.
All I'm going
Just
to say
respect
is
us.
Charlotte, Atlanta. Good game. Charlotte, Atlanta.
Oh, basketball.
Oh, I was so fucking.
Come on, is there a Charlotte?
That's what I was
No,
like.
that's what I was like. What are you talking about?
Porzingis had 15 in the first quarter.
Wow.
Kerry playing the Knicks. Doesn't move me.
It's a playoff
That's
team.
insane.
Talk
That's
to him.
disrespectful.
No, I don't care. I'm
What is
locking.
Bowles doing right now?
We just started our game.
Tatum's got 19.5.
Yeah, we just started our game. I'm locked in on mad other games. I'll be honest. I got so many to watch today.
Drew mentioned the Tua with the Dolphins and how he bounced back from interceptions. We got to see how he bounces back from a loss
Miami beat
against
a
a
good team
500
challenge.
team. Yes,
Still-
that's the challenge
still
on
fails.
right now.
Still
Oh,
fails.
and
But the thing about this week that is different from other weeks is that sometimes the Dolphins will lose, but the Lions will win. But this week both of them lost, and these are both
I'm riding high,
Drew
man.
teams.
I was feeling good.
Why?
Both my Ravens, my Eagles going.
Okay.
Oh, come on, man.
Between the Lions and the
Garland has
Dolphins,
13, 5 for 7.
who do you think was exposed more in their respective?
Very-
Very,
that's 5
very
points.
calmly, the Lions. They put up no fight at all.
I'm never
As-
taking the Lions ever again.
you picked the
Baltimore's
Ravens,
lead.
did you not?
No, I picked the Lions.
Oh, you
I
tried to right
actually
your
picked the
wrongs.
Lions, and I took Lamar under everything.
Yeah, you're a
Oh,
clown.
goodness.
That
That's
was
crazy.
crazy.
That is
It's
crazy.
So insane.
He Jared Goff over Lamar.
Who?
In terms of what?
That's basically what you did.
Ah, I see what you did there. I like
Took
that.
Jared Goff
That
over
was
Lamar.
cute. That was
Okay.
cute.
You're on
You
watch.
took Jalen Hurts over Mahomes.
Huh?
You took Jalen Hurts over Mahomes.
Yeah, I'll stick with that. To the day I die.
You're probably an idiot.
You took the Eagles too.
He cooked.
I'm an Eagles fan.
Oh, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan.
You got it.
So, yeah, the answer is the Lions. But here's the thing. Or I should say I at least, have been very consistent. The secondary is not good. That's the one issue that you look at with this team. Now, you could say prior to this week, which is the truth, they were a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense. They were one of the best rush defense in football. At the time, they were number 2. Now, the secondary finally plays a prolific passing offense. Lamar Jackson was uberly efficient, 21 completions, 357 yards. That's incredible. 3 touchdowns. He was over the top great. Now, one was a pass to Gus Edwards that, of course, he took for 80 yards. That definitely helped put his stats over the top. But regardless of that fact, you didn't show up on either end of the ball. Defensively, you let Lamar Jackson and company do whatever they wanted. We saw OBJ had his little moments. Zay Flowers, of course. Mark Andrews was dominant in this game. We saw Rashad Bateman have a couple catches. Everything was clicking for the Baltimore Ravens. Then on the defensive side of the ball, you're supposed to be, on the offensive side of the ball, the Ravens were getting to Jared Goff like I don't think we've seen a team do before in these last 2 seasons combined. 5 sacks. The Ravens are the number 1 team in terms of getting to the quarterback. They have the most sacks in the National Football League. And this is without this prolific pass rusher. But let's give credit to David Clowney. He's been pretty damn great so far this season. You couldn't really get anything done on the ground. Passing the ball, the statistics are a little bit skewed because the script was turned on their head. They were passing 95% of this game. You couldn't get anything done. You got 6 points to walk away from this. So the answer to me is very calmly the Lions, because if you talk about this Dolphins game with the Eagles, 3 offensive linemen, starting offensive linemen were injured in this game. You did not have Xavier Howard. Jalen Ramsey still on the way. David Long also got injured in this game. Jalen Waddle left this during this game, missed some plays as well. Devon Shane also did not play during this game. So for that to be the case, and you still play relatively well offensively, defensively, you couldn't stop a nosebleed. That was the issue. Down the stretch of the game, after that back-breaking interception from Tua, the defense goes 2 fourth downs that they allow the Philadelphia Eagles to convert. Again, the brotherly shove's amazing. I'm here for one of the few guys that...
Real quick, Jaren Jackson has 3 blocks in the first quarter.
That's what he's going to do.
Zion's in prison.
Is he?
Yeah.
I hate to hear that.
That's a bad matchup.
It shouldn't be.
It really should.
It shouldn't be. So
against Jaren Jackson at rim protection?
Jaren Jackson's not a good one-on-one defender.
But also, Zion's the most dominant paint scorer that there is in the league.
Who's winning the game?
It's close. It's like Memphis is like up 1 or 2.
I took the Pels.
You did?
Yes.
You bet?
Yes.
You need to stop.
I took a parlay today. On the
just
NBA
to
season
feel
opener.
something.
The most up in the air day in the
yeah.
game. Day in the year, I should say.
Mikal has 5 points. 1 for 5.
So I kind of lost my train of thought of where I was at. But regardless.
Brotherly shove.
Yeah, exactly. The defense could not get a stop. You allowed 31 offensive points. And there was honestly, I look at Tua and I think he had a good game. He had a very good game, was very efficient, was pushing the ball downfield early in the game in the first 2 quarters. Let me say first quarter, second quarter, up into like the last 4 minutes of the half. That offense struggled to move the ball consistently, but of course, 17-3 down. Tua makes some big plays on 3rd down. They're able to get a touchdown on 3rd down to Tyreek Hill over the top. I think that there were moments throughout this game that Tua showed great resilience, especially with all the injuries that had happened to this offense. Only to put up 10 points, obviously, is not ideal on offense. But again, I say that because you were very active talking about they only scored 10 offensive points. But again, we could be talking about this very differently if, in terms of statistics, talking about Tua Tagovailoa, if Tyreek Hill grabs that touchdown. A walk-in, easy touchdown that Tyreek makes 9 times out of 10. And I say 9 times because that one time happened to be against Philadelphia. And on that last drive where he throws that interception to big play Slay, something happened where it was a miscommunication. Why is Waddle and Mostert in that same area? If Waddle's not there, it's completely different because we're talking about defensive pass interference, plays at the 1-yard line. Now we're talking about the Dolphins with a chance to tie the game, and now we're talking about a ball game. So, again, I'm not worried about the Dolphins because they still have their laundry list of injuries. And they played a good game against Philadelphia on the road.
I'll say this. The Dolphins got blessed because the Lions got their ass kicked, right?
Yeah.
If the Lions didn't get their ass kicked, we'd be talking about the Dolphins a little bit more. But to answer the
But
question...
how we know their defense is not good.
It's not good,
Is their
but...
offense good against good teams?
I think the offense played well against the Eagles.
What about
I
Buffalo?
don't know.
No.
First
Half, yes. Second half, no.
I still feel like
First quarter,
Philly...
yes.
And again, the run game that's where we talk about fraudulent. Because the run game was not good against the Bills nor the Philadelphia. But that was to be expected because Philadelphia's run defense is elite.
They were also able to get it to a lot.
Well, that too, because the offensive line was destroyed.
Dehls, I think what you're saying is basically what I'm going to say is, the Lions, this was a worse loss.
Yeah.
This was by far a worse loss. But I think the benefit that the Lions get is that they are still a bit of an unknown. I mean, since week 9 of last season, they're 13-4. They have beaten the Chiefs, the Jaguars, and lost by 3 to the Bills. The passing defense is a concern, and I still have question marks about Jared Goff, especially when he's under duress. I don't think he can do much, and if you can get after Goff, I think you beat the Lions. That's really how you beat them. But to talk about the Dolphins, 5-0 against teams under 500. They're 0-2 against teams that are 500, the Bills and the Eagles, and dating back to last year, they have played 6 teams with the 500 record, or that finished with the 500 record last season. The Ravens week 2, before Roquan Smith, your Mona Lisa moment. The Bills week 3, they won in a heat wave, I should say.
Josh Allen.
Oh, interesting. With Tua with the concussion. Let's talk about that too.
Fair. The Lions week 8, before the Lions in season turnaround when they were 1-6 at the time.
So the 1 week before the turnaround.
The 1 week before the turnaround, yes. 49ers week 13 L, Chargers week 14 L, Bills week 15 L. They're 3-3 against teams that went 500 last year. The one against the Ravens, it's without Roquan. I don't really count it. That's more like 3-4 to me.
Now, what
or
about
2-4 to me.
What about this game versus the Chargers week 1?
They're not a 500 team right now.
Oh, but yeah, I mean the Chargers is Justin Herbert.
But last year they finished with a 500 team.
But they were supposed to lose.
They're the 32nd ranked defense right now in passing defense.
They were supposed to lose.
I'm just giving you the stats. Week 2 versus the Bills is a heat wave, and the away team gets most of that, and the Bills were injured. The Bills were injured, like you told me. The Dolphins were injured, so that's more like we're getting into like 1-5 territory now.
My quarterback had a concussion, played through it through the game-winning pass.
And the Lions before the in-season turnaround, does that really count? Like they were garbage before then, and then they turned around. So really, like when the Dolphins have faced like teams at full strength, they're more like 0-6 against 500 teams.
Do you guys happen to know the amount of points allowed by the Dolphins defense in their 2 losses combined, the average? Do you know what it is?
Oh, well, they let up 40. What, to about 40 was a flat?
Say 60 or
30,
70.
Yeah, so
No,
70?
points per game.
Oh,
no, average.
35?
38 points
38.
between the 2 of them. 38. So now, again, the easy things to talk about the offense, but again, Tua played well. He had a good game. The defense has been horrific.
Yeah, but I think that's the bigger issue because
Agreed.
Detroit's defense, up to this point, the competition has been great, but they're putting up good statistical numbers, right? Like coming into this week, they were top 10 in both pass.
They were
and
top
rush?
5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had shown, even against inferior competition, that they could at least be a respectable unit. Top 5's insane. They probably weren't that good, but still respectable. The issue with the Dolphins is, even me included, like I had them as a top 5 team multiple weeks, right? This is a team that I'm like, listen, everything breaks their way. Why can't they, outscore everyone and go on this crazy run? But right now, it's going to be very difficult for me to have the Dolphins in my like Super Bowl type tier. I feel the same way about the Lions too. I just don't like to hear, and listen, Dolphins had injuries, sure, but everyone has injuries. The Jets beat the Eagles with multiple of their offensive linemen down, with both of their corners down. Like C.J. Stroud's out there with backup offensive linemen for the first month of the year. He was winning games. Like everyone has injuries. The Jets beat the Eagles with injuries, with a multitude of
the
injuries.
Eagles also
Zach
were
Wilson
without
was-
Jalen Carter, big play Slay, Bradbury.
They were 9-point favorites. They were 9-point
No,
favorites.
the Eagles shouldn't have lost,
We
but
were
again, you
somewhat
can talk
healthy.
about them
They
also
weren't
being
healthy at
injured.
all.
They were 9-point favorites.
They had
What
no
do you mean?
secondary.
Neither did you.
Our secondary isn't good if they
We have
play.
Zach Wilson. They don't need a secondary.
That's also true.
Yeah.
So this, I just want to say this. This ain't a Tua thing, Drew.
I know.
This is a Dolphins. I don't really trust them thing.
I'm fine with that.
I don't trust them against better competition, and
I understand.
I understand this topic is who was exposed more. Listen, in this past week, Lions
Yeah, it was
100%.
Detroit.
But moving forward in the season, do you have more confidence in the Dolphins or the Lions?
The NFC is so much easier than the AFC is.
Their schedule is so light.
And
Eagles,
that's really
Lions,
what
that
the
is.
Lions schedule is very easy. The defense is a concern because I guess you could say the strength of the Dolphins is their ability to get to the quarterback. Their defensive line has been solid, but really the secondary and the linebackers are horrendous. Mm-hmm. They've been wildly inconsistent. Yeah. Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey both being banged up. That's not ideal.
It's really about who do you trust to, pretty much come out their conference. I don't think you trust neither.
Yeah.
I think you don't trust because like the Lions have to see Philly or the Niners, and then the Dolphins have to see the Chiefs or the Ravens. I'm scared for both teams.
Chiefs, Ravens,
Let me
Bills,
also say
Bengals.
this. I really want to apologize because I was ready to get on. Of course, you heard my monologue was really just primarily talking about, just injuries, all this. I was expecting you guys to say, Tua just can't get the job done.
That's fine.
And that's me allowing Twitter, X, excuse me, to interfere with our conversation. So I appreciate you guys understanding that fact. Tua did play a solid game. Yeah. Of course, you threw the interception. That wasn't ideal. That was, of course, the play that ended up being backbreaking.
Drew, after, we've done this podcast so long, you damn near read my mind. I'm thinking that shit right now. I just haven't said it yet. But I don't think Tua get the job done.
I don't think Tua, he didn't play a bad game, but for someone that
the reason they lost.
He wasn't.
He wasn't, but for someone we're having MVP conversations with,
he got to outplay opposing quarterbacks if he want to make that run.
3 offensive linemen down, still being able to push the ball downfield.
Jalen Carter being healthy
240 yards
hurts tremendously.
It's like you showed me that graphic. In two games, they're almost as pressured as much as the other 5 W's. And that's just a difference of defenses, a difference of pressures. Because the Philadelphia Eagles are great at getting to the quarterback. The Bills, when they were healthy, they were great at getting into the quarterback.
But then
you're telling me I'm sorry, bud. They're down 3 offensive linemen. You lose win in that game as well. Connor's out. Tehran's on the IR.
You have a big test coming up. And I think, who do you guys play? The Chiefs.
They got Patriots this week, Chiefs next
week.
So
we're going to walk away from. We're going to skip over that and go to the Chiefs game.
Patriots just beat the Bills.
Huh?
Patriots just beat the Bills.
But the thing is, Tua doesn't lose to Belichick.
Patriots beat the Bills, yeah. But
he didn't lose to Josh Allen before that game.
They did. He did.
He
did in Foxborough. That
was a shit game.
Oh, and the
Mac Jones less than 5 attempts,
minus 2 degrees, something like that. The ground was frozen.
When do you gain this trust from Miami? Because Detroit, I forgot which one you said it, but they're a young team. They're not really expected to come in. They don't have real expectations.
I'm gonna keep the expectations on them.
No, I understand what you're saying, but in totality, they don't if they lose in the first round.
I think there was expectation.
There is expectation.
Yeah, you guys have 2nd and 3rd best team in the league last week.
I did.
This guy's taking fucking victory laps when he had him top 5.
To be fair, but Dehls, I don't think you
really
have
7.
Yeah, 7.
I had the Ravens 6.
Dehls,
I might even had an 8.
Dehls, do you have them? Do you have them coming out the second round?
I had the Lions 7 last week. I had the Ravens 6.
All right.
Sorry?
Do you have them coming out the second round? I don't
The
see
Lions?
a world where they come out the second round.
because I was called the hater. Because I said, I don't think Detroit's going into Philly or into San Francisco and winning that game.
Oh, well.
He used...
nothing in it. We're
he
here.
said they're dome merchants.
You did say that.
I didn't say nothing about the dome. I said
they're dome merchants.
Dome merchants, I don't think ever came out of my mouth.
You essentially said that. A lot of their games are inside. We got to see how they look outside.
To be fair, 13 of their games in the regular season are inside. Now you got to go into Philly or into San Francisco in January?
I got a question. If the Vikings somehow make the playoffs and are matched up with the Lions first round,
I'm taking the Lions.
Is that not a toss-up, though?
I'm taking the Lions have a better team.
The Lions should be better.
If Jettis is back with Brian Flores and how he's been coaching his defense,
I don't know if you saw, Riv. They said Kevin O'Connell said Jettis is feeling a lot better than he anticipated.
Back to breaking records, baby.
Me and Twin, man, we're going to the
It'd
season.
be insane if he gets to 1,700 yards.
I think that game's a toss-up. I think the Vikings are a much better team this year than last year.
Well, we know why you think it's a toss-up.
Because they got Captain Kirk.
Yeah, you're a skull guy.
And yes.
I think the Lions should win.
Their teams are similar, and the Lions won't be challenged. I'll say this with the Dolphins. Tua played well. He made a lot of great third-down throws. Really great third-down throws. The reason why the Dolphins are in a bit of a better position, or I should say a way better position, is because currently this is not their full team.
Correct.
Jalen Ramsey is going to come back, and Jalen Ramsey is the piece that can unlock this defense.
Seems like he's weeks, like closer than not.
Vic Fangio, and this is the same thing for everybody in this coaching tree. No, not overrated, but
it's getting.
All of his coaches in his coaches tree, in order to fulfill the scheme, they need a lockdown corner. Yeah. That's why Brandon Staley went out and he signed J.C. Jackson to be that, and it was a flop. But in order to have that scheme play at a high level, you have to have a lockdown corner. And Brandon Staley got his head coaching job with the Rams as a DC, and Jalen Ramsey was the number 1 corner for that team. Mm-hmm. So Ramsey has played in a scheme like this before. So if he can come back and be a top-end corner again.
Is that not a lot of expectations, though?
Jalen Ramsey.
No, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, he's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
You're expecting him to come in and completely change this defense to get to a level to where they can make a deep run. Yeah. Especially he's going to be fresh off an injury, so he may be healthy, but you got to get the rust off.
You got to get better. You got to get better however you can.
I understand. But I just think that's a lot on him.
If you got Ramsey and Xavier
now
outside,
is not on the 1. That can't be understated how huge that is.
But we also have to see how Ramsey bounces back, because what we're saying, Ramsey last year was not the same top flight corner.
He was still great.
He was really
good. He had a down year for his
statistically, he was really still good. A top 3 corner.
Top 3, I don't know.
He graded top 3. The only 2 higher than him were Surtain and your guy, Sauce.
He's still top 5.
He should be for sure.
He's still top 5.
He is going to be asked to shadow, and I don't know if at this point he can shut down opposing wide receivers.
I won't sleep on it.
Can't wait till Diggs kills him.
I won't sleep on it.
I mean, Diggs is probably going to get his regardless.
Diggs is Diggs. He kills everyone.
He killed him week 1. I remember that.
But the defensive line made a
Jack
huge
Jones
step.
Fake did a good job on him.
With the
on Diggs.
Patriots.
until he
He's
didn't.
good.
Allen was throwing some bullshit that day. I ain't going front. Like,
But the Dolphins' defensive line played better. As opposed to the Lions, they don't have any reinforcements coming in. This is their team.
they're young.
They
though.
have some injuries. Yeah, they are young,
Especially
but this is their
defensively.
team. Like,
That's why
the
it's no
secondary is not going to
expectations.
get better.
Like, there's no expectation. Like, the Lions' expectation to make the playoffs, yes. But
the
outside
division.
of that,
And the division.
They're still-
yeah,
they should win the
outside of
division.
that, anything like
A
second,
playoff, I think a playoff win should be their goal.
Depending on who they play, for sure. But if
Listen,
they play,
Lions fans, I'm sure, were thinking more than just a playoff win before this past week.
Hell yeah.
if they play the
spoke about
Niners,
30.
I think if they play the Niners, I think the
Ravens
expectations
are an
lower.
amazing team too. Listen, I had the Lions winning this game. I never saw them getting embarrassed.
Yeah,
but
no one
again,
did.
you take this week, crumble it up, you throw it away, and you move on.
It's just
you
not
can.
great because they don't have a lot of big time games going up against top competition. So
Don't
you
get to
have the
practice.
Chiefs game, you take it, but now this is the Ravens game where you're like, damn.
And then now that we're looking at that
30.
Chiefs game, Kelsey was
No
out.
Kelsey, no Chris Jones. Yeah,
And
it
you won by
definitely-
1
It's a
point.
little bit of an asterisk. A little bit of an asterisk.
And you
And
get your
Mahomes
ass
won-
whipped the next one time you play a tough team.
And
It's
Mahomes'
like,
one interception was not his fault.
Of course, yeah. Shocker.
No, it wasn't. Did you
Oh,
see
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
I refresh my memory. What was it? Tip pass?
Kadarius Toney dropped it.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
in his
oh,
hand,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
bounced off, and Brian Branch took it to the house.
Yeah.
It wasn't his
No,
fault.
that definitely was.
Yo, you know,
Darius Stoney, yeah, he single-handedly lost in that game.
You
He
know,
had a fumble too, I think.
Yeah, he did. I actually looked back at
Didn't Mahomes
PF
have like 4 turnover-worthy plays that game? I'm trolling. I don't
versus the
remember
Lions.
that game.
No, I was actually looking that up because there used to be an account on Twitter that it used to chart QB dropped interceptions, and I think one year Mahomes had a lot.
He led the
And-
league.
Yes, but I actually looked at PFF this morning, and I looked at Mahomes' turnover-worthy play percentage year by year since he was an NFL starter, and in no year was he over top 30. He was always one of the least turnover-prone quarterbacks in the NFL. He ranked towards the bottom of the league. This year is actually his highest year in terms of turnover-worthy play percentage. I think he's middle of the pack. He's like 15th around there this year. But yeah, in those previous years, he wasn't turnover-worthy prone.
So he's regressed.
Right now, yeah, I think right now he has more turnover-worthy plays right now. Yes, he does. Still playing top 5 level. And listen, top 5, I should say top 2 because I'm bugging right now. It's fucking Patrick Mahomes. And the reason why the Lions
got the arm strength to really do what I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Get the Wheeler point.
Oh, trust me, I'm with you.
the reason why the Lions got smoked.
When it's him and Mahomes, you really got to loan that bitch up. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Jesus.
The reason why the Lions lost so bad is because Lamar Jackson had an MVP-like performance. Like I said, he would in my Mojo Player props video. I said,
That was like
Lamar
good
gonna
juju.
do his
He
thing.
took the under.
But listen, Dehls, this is your guy.
Yes.
He's against Patrick Mahomes, though. It's one of the greatest we've ever seen.
He is one
Who
of
do
the
you think's currently MVP, though?
I'm of course gonna go with my guy Lamar. Absolutely. Listen, I think obviously all the numbers, even the Steelers game should have even inflated his numbers even more, but it's more so the excuses we give to other quarterbacks in other situations that Lamar just breaks, right? Like, he has a new offensive coordinator. It doesn't matter. We've been talking about Jalen Hurts for 6 weeks now. Like, listen, give it some time. New offensive coordinator. He's got to get adjusted. They got Todd Monken in there, and he hit the ground running. You talk about new weapons all the time, right? Outside of Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, rookie first year, Odell first year, Nelson Aguilar first year. All of these new weapons stepped in, and there wasn't this insane learning curve where the offense is just so slow to start out. And we're up here saying, give it some time. By November, December, they'll get clicking. It hit the ground running right away. And then again, another year of injuries to the running backs. J.K. Dobbins goes down. Another year of Gus Edwards and Justice Hill out there. And it doesn't matter. Lamar is still out there beating teams, one of the best teams in the NFL 6 weeks into the season, the Detroit Lions, and just absolutely tearing them apart. The offensive lines had injuries too. Tyler Linderbaum has missed a couple of games. Ronnie Stanley missed 3-4 weeks earlier this season. So all of the excuses that we give to other quarterbacks in other situations, it just doesn't apply to Lamar Jackson. I mean, at this point in his career, do I have the numbers? He is 50-18 in his career. He has lost one career game to NFC opponents. It just goes to show you that no matter how great the other team, and I don't know exactly what teams he's played, but I want to say he's 16-1 against the NFC. But it just goes to show that you could, you think you might know how to play Lamar. You might think you know how fast he is, how electric he is, the arm strength. But until you actually go out there and play him, it's really not the same, right? There's nobody that you could really replicate when you're in practice and going through these walkthroughs being like, all right, you're the Lamar today, right? There's just no one that can do that. So this season, he's up to 71% completion percentage with having the 3rd highest yards per attempt in the league, 13 total touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 2,000 total yards. The Ravens are 5-2, first in the AFC North, and it doesn't look like anything's slowing them down. Just mentioned, 10, 15 minutes ago that Derrick Henry is big on their eyes in terms of the trade deadline. If they're able to go get Derrick Henry, this is the team I'm looking at saying, yeah, this is the Super Bowl. Like, this is finally the year where it feels like everything is getting put together. You got some weapons on the outside, even though I think you still really need a true number one. Zay has been amazing up to this point, but I would love for him to get a real number one receiver, pair that with Zay and Mark Andrews. Now we're talking about one of the best offenses in football. And Lamar's progression, we talked about these last 2 years, but it feels like he's taken even another step as a passer, especially in the pocket, where he is looking to throw the ball at all times. Even when he's breaking out of the pocket, he had to play his touchdown play to Mark Andrews, I want to say, his first touchdown, where it's a 3rd and 3. He breaks out to the right. He could run for the 3-4 yards, pick up the first down. He runs out to the right, keeps his eyes down the field. Eventually, Mark Andrews, might be Aguilar, whoever.
It was Aguilar.
Yeah. Gets open for the touchdown, and he just throws the dot, absolutely perfect across his body. So it's those kind of things that he's improved on, from winning unanimous MVP to 2019, where he was so electric, to 2020, 21, 22, dealing with some injuries. But now this year, it almost feels like a different quarterback than in 2019 as a passer, where we've seen him even these last couple of years miss open guys, miss really wide open guys down the field, where this year everything feels so just on time. It feels so accurate. He's throwing with the anticipation. I mean, there's really nothing that Lamar's doing this season that you can nitpick, that you could say, I wish he was doing this a little bit better. I wish he was doing that a little better. I think you might say he's leading the league in fumbles. Maybe that's the one area. Take care of the ball a little bit more there. But right now, he's my MVP. What he's doing with this team, the defense has been fantastic. They deserve their credit. But this offense with Lamar Jackson has been really, really special.
Tatum has 30.
He's insane. I love him.
You see Cade?
Duh.
He's
I said Tatum.
No, Tatum has 30, but Cade
sorry.
is also oozing me up, and I'm ready to bust.
Lamar has played 7 games this year, and he's up to 1,600 yards passing, 363 rushing. I think this is going to be his first year with 4,000 yards as a passer. To me, the MVP race is between these two guys. It's Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. If Lamar wins, 2 MVPs. If Mahomes wins, that's his 3rd MVP. I don't think the guy in Miami wearing number 1 is even in this conversation, respectfully. I don't think so. I think it's really just between these two guys.
Can you pick a guy, though? Don't do that. Come on, pick a guy. I know you tried. But
it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, all the stats that I don't know why I should be surprised.
I'm just tired of hearing his fucking name. God.
It shouldn't be.
City beat a good team challenge.
It shouldn't be surprising because, last year when we had a topic about Hurts and Mahomes MVP, I picked Mahomes. Mahomes ended up winning MVP.
Get hurt.
Y'all try to be annoyed at that again. Listen, it's just Patrick Mahomes, and that's the truth of it. And you guys are going to have to suck it up because he's going to be in the NFL for a long time, dominating at a high level, and he might win the most MVPs in league history. That's how good this guy is. The same way you love to do what Rivers doing to LeBron James, that's Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. So how about Mahomes is going to be a GOAT.
21.
Mahomes is going to be a GOAT. We know he's going to be a GOAT.
He will be, but don't ever compare him to LeBron.
What do you mean? Drew was probably doing this with LeBron in 2012.
LeBron has the most points scored ever.
Okay, LeBron is a GOAT of the NBA.
MVPs.
Mahomes is a GOAT of the NFL too.
He has the most All NBA first teams.
One more.
You got it. Like Mahomes is great, but there's still a level. LeBron is in his own.
I'm not saying Mahomes is on LeBron's legacy status, but I'm saying,
but don't put LeBron and Mahomes. Don't.
Drew been a LeBron fan since way back then. You was probably talking spicy on LeBron in 2011 before he won a chip.
Yeah,
so let's not act like praising Mahomes right now is some crazy thing. The reason why it's Mahomes though,
than Brady for real.
Patrick Mahomes, all the stats you listed with Lamar, Patrick Mahomes has the stats over Lamar in terms of more yards as a passer, more passing touchdowns. He has 3 more interceptions, and they're identical in terms of passer rating. Where I think Mahomes has the edge is that he's leading a better offense. The Chiefs are 4th in EPA per play, 3rd in dropback EPA, 6th in points, and 2nd in passing yards. The Ravens are 10th in dropback EPA, they're 10th in EPA, 13th in dropback EPA, 10th in points, and 16th in passing yards. I know a big part of their offense is the run game, but overall, Mahomes is leading a top 5 offense, Lamar's leading a top 10 offense, and Mahomes has the better numbers outside of the interceptions where he's thrown more and completion percentage where Lamar has a better completion percentage. But I think the argument for Lamar is the strength of schedule as of now. the Chiefs are about to start facing tougher opponents, and that's either going to strengthen his case, Mahomes' that is, which I think it will, or it will bring him down a peg. But right now, Lamar has had great performances against the Lions, the Browns, and Cincinnati.
It's funny because last year in Mahomes' MVP tour, didn't he lose to the Bengals and the Bills?
Yeah, Bills won that game.
So I say that with the idea, hey, you can lose to the best teams. If you're still statistically dominant, you could be the MVP because he deservedly earned it. So you say my guy's out of it. No way, no how. Tua Tagovailoa is still the MVP of the league. First in yards per game, first in total yards regardless, passing yards, first in yards per attempt. He's second in touchdowns. He's first in passer rating. He's top 4 in EPA, and he's first in completion percentage. You're going to tell me he's out of this race? That's ridiculous. Numbers speak for himself.
One good team.
Let's talk about Mahomes.
2 or 3.
Mahomes as well.
Yeah, you're cooking. Cooking with hot grease, actually.
Beat the Jets. That's a respectable team. It's a better win than any of the games the Dolphins have.
Chargers.
The Jets are better than the Chargers.
Didn't Mahomes have 3 touchdowns against the Chargers, though?
Didn't Mahomes not play well against the Jets?
He wasn't great till
He had 2 interceptions, but he had the game-winning drive. Well, he set up the game-winning drive for them. What Mahomes did. You didn't see the 3rd and long scramble?
I only say that for the fact of Purdy did put himself in a position to set up the win.
Made the field goal, didn't it?
It just needed out.
No, I don't think. No, the Chiefs didn't need a field goal.
He
They
just
just
iced
needed
it.
to maintain.
Nah, he just iced it.
He just iced
He
it.
iced it.
Almost had a stroke
He just iced
just
it,
now.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I wouldn't use Mahomes' game versus the Jets as an MVP case. Like that's his worst game this year. There's no doubt.
Well, no, because he said the
You
Jets was his
you want
best
to
win.
know his best game for MVP right
Bears?
now? The Bears.
Nuts. Jordan Love also played
Chargers
amazing
game.
against the
He
Bears.
was
worst.
just elite.
Tua's best case is the Broncos. And
Chargers.
who else?
Chargers game.
The Giants.
Chargers
The Chargers are 32nd in passing yards allowed per game.
But
No, he
it
was
was
fucking
week one.
amazing
We
that
can
first
use that in hindsight, but in week one, that wasn't the expectation that he was going to outperform Justin Herbert.
In hindsight, though, I mean they're still a bad defense, though.
See, I just don't want to hear that, man.
They are a bad defense.
I see the thing.
Are they
is-
not a bad defense?
Well, Miami's a
They're
bad
bad.
defense, though. So
I mean, the finals 35-38,
It was
35
an amazing
minutes,
game.
some shit. Yeah.
Realistically, Tua has to score every drive.
Tua didn't have a drive where he was winning.
Tua has to score every drive.
He literally was down every single
saying-
time. He
I'm
saw
not-
the
at this
ball.
table-
I'm not saying Tua's in the MVP conversation.
So he's not.
He's not in the MVP conversation.
I said,
Don't lose me.
I'm not. First of all, relax. Relax. Second of all,
Don't fucking lose me, Riv.
the conversation is Lamar and Mahomes. Can guys get back in it?
Tyreek
Of
Hill
course.
3.
Crying. Brock
I
Purdy
don't
3?
think I could put a wide receiver.
Tyreek Hill he's having a historic season.
Tua has. I don't think I could put a wide receiver in it.
Nah,
Me personally.
Nah, you can't. You can't.
I don't think I can.
So at this
Offensive
table,
player of the year, Tyreek got it.
Tua, your MVP. That's your pick. I know that's your pick. He got Lamar,
Lamar
and
was
you
my
got
MVP.
Lamar.
Read it in fucking week.
And I got
Can't even read
Mahomes.
it. The fucking glare.
So I got because this gonna be my MVP pick all year. So of course,
well, Lamar's been my MVP. So.
I'm just getting right with the best.
I am. This the
like
guy
picking
that
Jokic
this
to
the
win
guy
MVP.
that debated LeBron should have won MVP over Derrick Rose. I mean, come on.
Huh?
That's not.
Should he
That's
want-
not the take you thought it would cook. I'll be honest. That's not.
I wasn't trying
The
to
only
cook.
reason he left, the only reason he didn't win was because he left Cleveland. Think about how great LeBron was. That back-to-back years they gave him
That's
MVP.
not why he won. He won.
Well, he was great.
Derrick Rose had everybody was hurt.
Derrick Rose
And
backpacked
They won.
that
They
year.
had the most.
LeBron was better than
In
Derrick.
2018, James Harden.
You guys made a video that Derrick Rose wasn't even top 5 the year he won MVP.
All I said was the Bulls were.
Don't make me cook
the
up
Bulls
right now.
weren't healthy, and D. Rose had the.
He was
number one
amazing.
seed.
He was
That's what I
amazing.
said.
They won 60 games
Yeah,
with injuries.
Yeah, Joakim Noah and Boozer missed. a
Again,
good
think
amount of
about
games.
how great LeBron had to be
LeBron
to
was
make
amazing.
the Heatles and go back-to-back MVP.
2018, he wasn't MVP either over James Harden. James Harden
that
was
was
quite
bullshit.
clearly MVP.
That was bullshit.
How was that bullshit?
He played all 82
So you think
in totals.
LeBron? So
was
you
had
think
everything
LeBron
over
should have
him.
won both
Lamar,
MVPs?
we're here, bro.
He should.
We're
Okay.
here.
We're here.
He was
Lamar.
This guy
Preseason pick,
picking LeBron to win every year, but
I felt
God
this was
forbid
the
I
year,
pick
dude.
Mahomes. I mean, it's
It was
Mahomes.
definitely gonna be. I mean, I picked Hurts, but if I would have had a second option,
Yeah, Lamar. I definitely felt it in the offseason. Like as a passer, he was just going to upgrade. You know,
Yeah.
so he's going to have the numbers.
And Mahomes not even my first pick. My first pick was Joe Burrow.
yeah,
hilarious pick.
I know.
LMFAO. My first pick.
We're
here still.
Who's your first? Tua? Yeah. So
Joe Burrow can still do it. You know, the
But
second half
Tua
of the
can't?
season after the bye.
Joe Burrow can, but Tua can't. That makes no sense.
Tua got
There's
better
def-
chances right now.
Yeah, there's definitely still more questions around Tua though.
Yeah, but I think in the MVP conversation, Tua can. We'll have the
As a
numbers.
quarterback, there's way more questions around
Joe
Tua.
Burrow's
than Joe
been mid as fuck this season.
So-
that is such a fucking unfair ass statement.
Tua is better than Joe
That's
Burrow.
the truth. It's nothing against Tua. It's Joe Burrow.
But Joe Burrow's done nothing.
Tua is better than Joe Burrow, Drew.
Right now, yes.
Oh shit! I'm not in this.
He's
I mean,
better
if we're
than-
talking
he's
about
better than-
singular seasons.
He's
yes.
better than Josh Allen
Because
too.
Brandon Ayuk's better than Jalen
Whoa.
Waddle, but what has Jalen Waddle shown you the last 2 years?
Josh
Brandon
has been-
Ayuk versus Jalen
Josh has
Waddle is
been
not Joe Burrow.
bad,
versus
but he's
Tua,
been
bro.
great at the same time.
It's
I don't know.
it's not. It's not.
Josh
What do you
Allen.
mean?
I think Josh Allen is probably a little bit ahead of Tua in an MVP race. Right
Josh
now.
has been bad but great at the
No,
same
he's
time.
not.
Why not?
I mean, they're coming off a couple really, really bad.
Yes,
losses.
but
Or I guess
Josh
a win,
Allen's been
but,
amazing this
you know.
year. He's leading a top 5
He's
offense.
actually
But here's
too.
the thing.
70%
I'm not
completion rate, which is amazing.
Josh Allen in MVP conversation.
He's in there,
That's
yeah.
fine. Again, I can prefer one person over another because the stats prove the tail right there. Simple as that.
What I meant is because you had the point about Mahomes. Like, where's him beating a great team? It's
Josh
just
does have a signature.
with Burrow and Mahomes. Like, we've seen them beat elite teams. We've seen both of them go to the Super Bowl. We've seen Mahomes win a Super Bowl. Tua has been sensational this year. The numbers, you read them all, first across the board in damn near every statistic. But we still have to see him beat teams that aren't the Panthers and the Broncos. You know what I mean? Like,
Mahomes historically has performed against the best of the best, where Tua
Yes.
has not. And that's why he gets knocked in the conversation when he does it only
I was gonna
against
say
teams
his
that aren't
biggest
that good.
his biggest blemish, his worst game in my opinion. He conquered that demon week 1.
that was definitely his best game. Yeah, that was a great game.
That was the best game of the year for
He
him.
has yet to
Yes.
conquer that demon in Buffalo.
But it's just
He
Buffalo,
beat them.
Not in
Buffalo, and
Buffalo, I said in Buffalo.
He left the
Philly.
field winning.
Oh god, they was up by 20.
I'm talking about last year.
Oh,
He left the field winning.
Left.
And
He was
this
winning.
year,
What do you want me to say? He was winning.
This year they faced
better
off.
Is that his fault?
You're right.
Thank you.
Maybe he should complain.
He should. He should, because that fucking defense is putrid.
He shouldn't complain.
Go
Want
to
to know
Atlanta.
why?
Because he has Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
No. Because his
Well, that's
first
a
2
great-
years in the NFL, he had an awesome defense that led them to a 500 record, and he choked.
Did he? The Titans
Yes.
absolutely lit that defense up.
Tua
He
was,
also played like shit.
was horrible against
It
the
was
Titans.
raining.
And then week 17
raining.
versus the Bills. His
was
rookie
raining.
year.
He also played like shit. It was a rookie year though.
Yeah, rookie year, I'm not giving him 2 fucks about.
Like it's funny because the Dolphins have switched from their defense was awesome and their offense was ass.
Man, it's crazy.
To now their offense is great and their defense is middle of the pack. It's not
It's
terrible.
the coaching philosophy too. You go from
Middle of the
Flores
pack.
to
They are.
McDaniel.
They're
They're
20th, I think, in both pass. They're 19th in run defense. They're 20th in pass
And
defense.
again, you talk about beat a good team challenge. They've played no great team, and the defense is still that.
I know. I understand.
He doesn't care.
That's
I'll
fucking.
just be honest,
That's
he doesn't care.
insane.
Yeah, I mean Philly and all of the great offenses. Philly, Chargers, Buffalo.
That's
they put
insane.
Lamar
I don't think Philadelphia did what they wanted against the Dolphins. I felt like they just got into a lot of those fourth
the
and one
run game.
situations.
I think so.
And the brotherly shove extended
Bless
a
them.
ton of
Yeah.
drives for
They
them.
went
Another
4
thing-
for 4 on 4th
I
down.
know
If
we-
you let the Philly gets 4th and 1, you're fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't do
Yeah,
anything.
you're fucked.
Well,
If
they
you
were constantly
if
getting
you
to
are
4th
one of
and 1
those guys that says ban the brotherly shove, you hate competition.
Yeah, because not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Literally,
Brock Purdy did
when
it, and
when your quarterback
it now work out.
can squat 600 pounds,
You tried to be funny.
when your offensive line is the
No,
best
that's what he
in the
got
game.
injured on. He got injured on the
I
play.
thought you were trying to.
No, did you see the play Brock got concussed on or no?
Yeah, bro, it was literally the brotherly shove.
You know, after that concussion, he
Isn't
went
that
2
the
for
game?
6.
Daniel
2
Jones got
interceptions.
hurt on that too.
he did.
Yeah.
Yo, after that concussion, 2 for 6, 2 interceptions,
I know.
4.2
I
pass
know.
rating. They don't talk
Concussion
about it
like
too much.
That's what I was bringing
Protocols.
up. I
They
was
don't talk- they
bringing
don't
that
talk about
up.
it
We don't know if
We
it's-
ignored
it-
that.
He's in protocols.
He's in. Yeah, what are you doing?
He's out. He's not playing.
He's not playing. He has a concussion.
He has a concussion.
He can't think straight. He can't
They
see
haven't
straight.
they haven't confirmed it is yet.
Are you
No,
just
they-
hoping and
no, they said
praying
he's
it
in
wasn't?
concussion
No,
protocol.
they
concussion
just
protocol.
they had he's in concussion
Are you
protocol,
trying
but
to downplay his concussion?
Oh
no,
God.
he's in concussion protocol.
What are we doing here?
They have not confirmed this
Oh, but then
concussion
when I
yet.
bring up concussions, it's not okay, right?
No, because I'm just confused.
Now he's
at what we're
becoming
doing
concussion
here.
guy.
Are you trying to downplay
It's-
my
it's
boy
the
concussion?
Packers game all
Did you
over
not
again.
see the difference of how he
I
played?
think
he couldn't see
concussions
straight.
are horrible.
Okay, because Joe Burrow was playing with that weak ass calf. And he
I'll
was
tell
over
you
there
what,
crying.
man. That TikTok killed me. He's like, listen, man, you never want to see a quarterback get hurt, and I'm hoping the best for Brock Purdy. But it's Sam Darnold's time now.
Sick guy.
Oh man, Sammy boy.
I love watching Joel's TikToks and bringing them up on the show. It's one of my favorite things.
It's Sam
Aubrey Moran,
Darnold's
I
time.
think. Give him a follow.
Somebody was like, "Yo, thank you for being such a great human being and mentioning Brock Purdy first."
I'm fucking.
There was like a lot of
crying.
negativity on this app, man. I was like,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
just happy for Sam.
Unbelievable.
Let's do something. This week in the NFL,
Sir.
my first this week in NFL, because I have two, but very quick ones. Nick Bosa, according to PFF, won 1 of 40 reps against Christian Darrisaw versus the Vikings. And
Wow. Why didn't you mention this earlier, though?
because it was a Brock Purdy topic. That's what Riff said was after the Cowboys game, was it not? It was a Brock Purdy topic.
He did say Christian Darrisaw's elite.
I did say it.
He did say it.
And he's been
He
elite.
said Nick Bosa gets a pass. I guess when you win DPOY, you get a
No.
pass.
I didn't say he gets a pass for the
Here's how
game.
it goes.
I didn't say Nick Bosa gets a pass for the game. I said Nick
you
Bosa has more leeway to
Get a
have these
pass.
stinkers than Brock because Nick Bosa has
He's a
years
good boy.
of elite production.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Sounds like a cop out to me.
But Christian Darrisaw, I mean, this is less of a Nick Bosa thing and just Christian Darrisaw thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes,
You want to
because
heighten the guy who played well, which is fine, but not talk about the guy that we were talking about before.
well, listen, Nick Bosa, he wasn't good in this game.
Hasn't been really good all year.
He hasn't been
very
depoyed
mid.
this year at all.
He cared about his money and Skims more than he cared about.
I respect it. Skims
looks
apparently
hard.
very, very comfortable.
Bro, it's expensive. 3 for
Yeah.
53 is
Not
crazy.
happening. Not happening.
But Christian Darrisaw is somebody that I wanted the Jets to draft, and we actually traded our original pick to go up and get Elijah Vera Tucker, and the Vikings with our pick got Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw is an elite left tackle. He's one of the top 5 left tackles in the league. And after the 49ers and Vikings
Douglas,
game,
man. Hit or miss.
I was
ABT.
trying to make a little bit of an analysis on like how Christian Darrisaw beat Nick Bosa that entire game, because I think if the Vikings can get that offensive line play, he's going to lock down the left side. But they signed your boy Dalton Risner from the Broncos, who he's been somewhat of an upgrade at guard for them because now Ingram's not starting. This Vikings offensive line is taking form. You see the running game. They're getting some chunk plays now. And I think the Vikings can somewhat be legit down the stretch, man. I think they can definitely make a playoff push.
I like it. My this week in the NFL. So ESPN does like their they have like wide receiver grades and wide receiver scores. So I have their 10 most receivers that are labeled as open. So their open score assesses the likelihood a receiver would be able to complete a catch,
attractive.
conditional on if he were targeted. So who do you guys think? I'll say this. There is, I think, 2 names probably that you're going to be shocked at. A couple that surprised. There's a lot
DJ
of
Moore
games.
is up there.
DJ Moore is not in the top 10.
Brandon Aiyuk.
Aiyuk is number 1 with a 99 open
I
score.
like to hear that.
Been telling y'all.
Keenan
man.
Allen.
Keenan Allen's number 2 with a 90 open score.
Whoa!
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, no.
He's not in the top 10?
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, no.
Jettis.
No.
He didn't play enough.
Kendrick Bourne.
No. He was actually high on this list, though, but no.
Damn.
Devontae Smith.
Nope.
AJ Brown.
A.J. Brown is 6th. So you
Cooper
have
Kupp.
1, 2, nope.
Puka.
Nope.
Jamar Chase.
Nope.
Tutu Atwell.
Well, he's not
Nope.
7-11.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson is number 4.
Nice.
That's
He's
So
so
we have
elite,
1,
man.
2, 4, and 6.
Okay. CD Lamb.
No. You got most of the easy
Amon-Ra.
ones. No.
Hate to
Brandon
hear that.
Cooks?
Breaks my heart.
Brandon Cooks, no.
I'm crying.
I'm just naming names. at
No,
this
it's
point.
fine.
There's let me see
Gabe
here.
Davis.
Gabe Davis, no. There's do you guys want some hints?
No,
Okay.
we don't. We don't
You
need
said
help.
1, 2, 4, and 6.
We
Oh,
have
Drake London.
1, 2, no.
Devontae Adams.
No.
Kyle Pitts.
No.
Christian. What's the dude? Watson.
He's been mid.
Romeo
Amari
Doubs?
Cooper.
No.
George Pickens.
No.
Zay
Yeah.
Flowers.
No.
Jordan Addison.
No.
You guys aren't even giving me a chance to say a
Because
fucking
you're not thinking
name.
fast enough, bro. Think on the top of your toes.
Terry McLaurin.
Say Flowers.
Oh,
No, said
Dotson.
Oh,
No.
What the fuck? We named everybody.
I promise you haven't.
clearly not.
Tyler Lockett.
No.
Oh,
DJ?
damn.
No.
Don't help us.
JSN?
Oh, Chris Olave.
Nope.
Yo, what the fuck, man?
There.
Michael Thomas. No.
No.
Fuck
Let me know
no.
when you guys start wanting hints.
I'll take a hint now. You
Okay,
guys
we'll take a hit for one.
There's a pair of teammates.
You cooked me. Oh, T?
Nope.
Tyler Boyd.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yes. They're
Nice.
Mike Evans is up there?
Bro, Evans has been elite.
Mike
Yeah,
Evans,
Mike Evans
and
has
Chris
been
Godwin
elite.
are
He's missing
8th and
like
9th.
half the
So
year?
we have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
How many are we missing?
You're missing 3, 5, 7, and 10. One of these is a layup. I'll be honest.
We're blanking.
Yeah, you're just thinking of. You got to think about it just a slightly different way. Slightly
Jalen
different
Waddle.
way. No.
What do you mean? It's like the
Slightly
black way?
different.
Does this include tight ends or just wide receivers?
Everybody.
Travis Kelce.
Okay,
right.
that's the one.
You didn't. So Diggs really isn't here.
He is not. No.
Jettis isn't here.
Zay Flowers is 11th. Chase is 12th. Sutton is 13th. Jacoby Myers is 14th.
Where's Jettis?
I just have a screenshot of it. I don't.
Nah,
have that.
Sun has been eating this year.
Jettis didn't qualify.
So right now we're missing 3, 5, and 10. 3 and 5 are the ones that I would be shocked if you guys
what
got.
three
It.
give us the conference?
AFC.
Okay.
Jacoby Myers.
No, he was
said
14th.
that. Twice.
Ah.
You said that. Okay.
Can you give us the division?
No, that'd be too easy.
Even if I give you the division, I
bad
don't
team,
know.
bad team or good team?
We might as well just get the division
Fun
at this
team.
point.
A fun team.
Ooh, that's
Michael
nice.
Wilson.
Oh, Nico Collins.
No.
I'm close
Tank
though.
Dell?
Yes.
Oh,
Tank Dell.
he's 3?
Tank Dell
great.
is number 3.
That's my fucking brother for life. Yes.
Josh Downs?
No. So right now we're missing 5 and 10. One is a vet, been doing it for a lot of years, and the other one's
Adam
a young
Thielen?
guy.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins
Yeah.
is
Okay.
number 10. We're missing number 5.
Where's 5? What conference?
Also AFC.
Fun team, bad team, good team. Fun team.
God. They're a good team. They're a good team.
They're mid as fuck.
They're a
aren't
good
they?
team. I have them in my
Elijah
top 10.
Moore?
Yes. Good shit, Riv. Number
Elijah
5.
Moore,
No,
nice.
good
Yo,
shit.
just stop playing
Good
with me,
shit.
bro.
So,
as soon as he
Aiyuk-
said mid, I'm like, yeah, I
So,
knew it.
I
Top
hate that
10.
you guys just rattle off a bunch of names. I'm just like, I'm going to let y'all do this.
Top 10 is Aiyuk, Keenan, Tank Dell, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and DeAndre Hopkins.
Wow, Deshaun Watson and PJ Walker
The fact
really
that
suck.
PFF got Brandon Aiyuk number 1 separation, ESPN got him number 1 openness rate. I'm just saying, Brandon Aiyuk is him.
He's still
It's
in
amazing.
top 10.
Yes, he is top 10. They just say he's top 1.
You believe that?
He's definitely top 10.
All right, my This Week in the NFL is going to be primarily based around A.J. Brown. I mean, this guy has been nothing short of unbelievable, and I firmly believe he has now solidified himself as a Tier 1 receiver. There's been a lot of conversation saying that he's not in that conversation with the Jettas, the Tyreek Hill, the Devontae Adams. 5 games in a row, he's the only player in NFL history to accumulate over 125 receiving yards in 5 straight games. Versus man coverage, PFF has him graded as the highest graded wide receiver, 94.9. He's first in catches. He is first in yards. He's first in contested catches. And in terms of just being an overall dominant receiver, you simply cannot mention the best of the best without mentioning A.J. Brown. Now, Joel, your stats were so great. I don't know if I want to bring mine in to the, let's list the top 10, because mine was, you guys know who the top 10 are in receptions this season, which is a little bit less boring than what you did. So I'm not gonna mention it. You guys can just give your this week.
I'm sorry, bro.
That's all right. This was a fire one.
That was fun. I just wanted to point out.
That's honestly a viral TikTok right there.
The Nets have 73 points.
Open
Who do
to
you
score.
think is leading the team in scoring?
Oh, it's Cam Thomas.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
27. I can
Cam
guarantee.
Thomas is a bucket.
Yeah, nobody else has 10 points.
Damn.
How's Ben?
Ben has 2. He has 99 though.
That's what I'm wondering.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many steals and blocks?
1 block, no steal.
Okay.
He has
let him
2
cook.
points.
Let him
Still.
cook.
1 for 5.
What do you guys, Rick from who works at Boom? We work together.
Coin flip guy.
Coin flip Rick. Shout out. He put up an alternate line for Ben Simmons to hit. I think it was either 2+ or 3+ threes. What do you think the odds were on that?
plus
Plus
7,000.
10,000.
Is it plus 20?
Plus 305.
What?
They're out here trying to steal people's money. Plus 305. I almost had an aneurysm.
They really put that out too.
Yeah, Shea was like plus 285.
Why? Who made that?
It was FanDuel.
They okay.
Why would anyone bet that though?
I don't know, but I saw that. I was like, why? This should be plus 10,000.
That should be plus $1 million. I'll be honest. He
I'm
won't even
fu-
take
Like,
that.
it wasn't even. It was makes. I was like, attempts would be
Yeah,
valid.
attempts is like a plus
Even
10,000.
attempts,
He
yeah.
won't even take. Here's mine because I looked it up. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have scored now 50 touchdowns as a quarterback tight end duo. They need one more to tie Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham for 4th on the list with 51. That's my This Week in the NFL.
I thought you were gonna have like the 4 above them.
I
Well,
definitely did it.
it's Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison,
yeah.
Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski.
It's just
Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates. I think they should be top 3.
I think that's maybe.
okay. So
that might
now-
be it.
Now you guys are gonna make me look it up because I didn't want to do it. But okay, wherever.
I know for a fact Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning are number 1. Have like 8.
Oh, he just said quarterback, wide receiver, or quarterback.
just
okay.
quarterback and whoever's catching the
Quarterback pass catcher. It's just
Okay.
quarterback pass catcher. Yeah. So yeah, not looking at it.
It's Peyton and Marvin 1, Brady and Gronk 2, Steve Young and Jerry Rice 3, Rivers and Gates 4, Marino and Mark Clayton 5. This must be from like the start of the season or something, or maybe a couple.
Yeah, they're
years
at
ago.
50.
Big Ben and AB.
Wait, but
was
you
at
didn't say
6.
Drew Brees and Graham.
Yeah, maybe this list is wrong. I don't know. When's this from? This is from. Oh, it's from 2014. So
You're
never
an
mind.
idiot.
Is he the idiot or
And Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates were that in 2015.
or maybe we're talking about tight end then?
No, it's QB pass catcher.
because he said Marvin Harrison.
No, I
He said
understand.
2014.
But
Drew Brees
that's
is still playing.
But that stat mentioned,
QB pass catcher.
and who was the person you just mentioned?
Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham.
No, I'm talking about. You said Kelsey and
Mahomes.
okay. I'm just gonna assume that that's tight end.
But I had Gronk on the list, buddy.
This one had Gronk. I understand.
This
Jimmy,
one
this
is
2014,
QB.
so Jimmy Graham.
This is
and
now. This is
Brees probably
recently.
weren't.
What's wrong
Yeah,
with
Jimmy Graham did his damage like 2014 to 2016,
you? Yeah,
I believe.
what's up with you? Why is he trying to what's up with this guy? This guy is a dork, man.
Dude, I'm trying to do you a favor and make sure you have the right stats so Jimmy Graham and fucking Drew Brees are actually on the list.
This came out on 3 days ago, ChiefsWire.today. So
Oh,
the
no,
Chiefs
that's
put it up.
crazy. So in 2013, Jimmy Graham had 16 touchdowns. 2014, he had 10.
See? Look,
2015, he had 2. 2016, he had 6.
he just
2017,
started cooking up.
he had 10.
Is that when he got traded to Seattle in 2018?
Oh, yeah,
Or-
you're right. That was only Seattle.
Seattle,
In New
20.
Orleans, he had a total of 26, 37,
51.
46, 51. Yeah.
Yep, see? We're here.
Nice.
Tried to disrespect me.
Good mental
On the
math.
fly, man.
Tried to disrespect me.
On the fly.
You can stop looking it up, bro. We got it.
Bro, I'm trying to make sure that yours is right.
So while Drew does that, let's go on to Thursday Night Football, Bucs versus
Good
Bills.
idea, honestly.
Let's preview the game a little bit, and then we're going to give our Mojo fantasy props. Now, the Bills coming off of an embarrassing loss versus the Patriots. The Buccaneers coming off of somewhat an embarrassing loss versus the Falcons. A lot of people picked them to win that game. Both teams, though, are kind of in the mix right now. Is there any chance the Bucs upset the Bills?
Sorry, I just watched the video of Drummond dropping shit.
What? What is going on here? Oh,
wow.
oh my God.
Ah, the NBA's back.
No, the Bills need this one. I know they
Badly.
just lost to the Patriots, but that's a division game. It's Bill Belichick again. I was here saying this might just be a different Patriots team, but they got a little bit healthy. Getting Jack Jones back was an underrated part of their game, and this Bills defense is not that good. It's not as good as what it was in the beginning of the
Baker?
season. That's really
Baker
unfortunate.
time?
I know you're saying that because you need to start him in fantasy
might
this
need
week.
to.
You starting him?
He has no choice.
I have Purdy.
He's hurt.
And he might be fun. I don't know because there's a chance Purdy can still play. Chance small. I don't know if I want to
He's
start.
doubtful.
So regardless,
Baker. I said Hollywood.
no, the Bills should win this game. If you can't beat the Falcons, you should not beat
playing
the
the
Bills.
Falcons.
They just lost to the Falcons.
They
I'm
just
saying
lost to
if
the
they,
Patriots.
I'm talking about the Buccaneers.
I'm so sorry.
Look alive.
We're here. I fucked up your monologue. I apologize. Oh shit.
Does someone else want to talk about the Bucs or the Bills? Can we please?
I think we're underselling the Bucs a little bit.
They're ass. They just lost to the fucking Falcons. I hate them right now. They shouldn't have fucking lost.
I know you're upset. You pick them.
They fucked me.
You lost a game and you,
You
pick
don't want to
them.
pick Bucks?
Huh?
You don't want to pick Bucks?
Dell's
no,
picked.
I was-
Dell's
yeah.
picked
The
too.
Bucks, yeah.
Yeah. Dell's had a bad week.
I had a terrible.
Dell's had a bad week. Now, but listen, I think we're underselling the Bucs a little bit because we just seen Mac Jones have 250 and 2 touchdowns plus
And drive
versus
down
the
the field.
Bills and drive down the field. Baker Mayfield can definitely have a great game against the Bills. Mike Evans can impose his will on his game. I think this is kind of going to be a shootout. Thursday Night Football hasn't been very kind to us in terms of close games. I think this one can be a close game, but ultimately the Bills do need to win this. And if they lose, I think the dialogue on them becomes much more worse. I had this thought a couple nights ago. The Buffalo Bills right now are in a spot where they lost Matt Milano, they lost Trey White. Their identity on defense is done. I don't think they can recover on defense.
Snap counts.
The defense is not going to be able to stop top-tier offenses this year. I think the Bills are a first-round playoff exit. If not, they maybe make it to the divisional round. I don't think this is an AFC championship or a Super Bowl team. If Sean McDermott fails to make a deep playoff run with the Bills, I think he's done. I think he gets fired.
They just extended him
They just extended him.
last year. I want to say.
And he took over the offense this
He
year?
took off for the defensive play.
Ah,
caller.
okay. I knew it was one of
They
them.
just extended him, but for me, I kind of am going with they'll let him go. And you want to know why? Because there's a situation right now brewing with the Giants that I don't know if Brian Dable wants to be there much longer. If I'm the Bills, why not let go of Sean McDermott, call up the Giants,
There's no way.
This is
Call
the
up-
most ridiculous
call
shit
up
I've
Joe
ever heard in my
Shane.
fucking life.
There's
man.
no way, bro.
Bill Bean calls up Joe Shane. Listen, I'll trade you a second-round pick.
Second?
They need every pick they
Second,
can get.
I want Brian Dable to coach Josh
Dable's
Allen
worth
again.
at least a first.
I'll give you a first. If I'm the Bills,
It's
I'm
not
giving you a
happening.
first for Brian Dable.
It's not happening.
I'll be honest.
You don't think Brian Dable could go back to the
If
Bills?
it was any team other than Buffalo,
Did you see After the Giants-Bills game, McDermott and Dable did not speak.
Yep.
There's tension there. I think Dable was kind of eyeing that job. And I think if McDermott fails with this team, Dable can come back.
That's hilarious.
Well, for starters, he will fail with this team. That's start number one because their goal last 3 years with Josh Allen is to get to the Super Bowl. So they will ultimately
Here's
fail.
the issue. Josh Allen had to show up against the Bengals. He didn't.
For sure. The year before he did. And
He
did.
Defense was ass.
Yeah, it happens. And then now, I don't think it's McDermott's fault that the defense is banged up every fucking year.
No.
I really don't. And I think this year they just got hit with the injury bug at an extremely bad time, and now their depth is getting exposed. Even last game, I believe either Russo or Oliver didn't even play, and you just saw that hurt too. So like, there's always somebody out, and then with Milano and White out, it's gonna hurt. But I don't think they should not give up a single draft pick because they need every draft pick they can get because they need to draft talent and they need to draft good players on the defensive end. The offense isn't the issue. Well, it has been the last 2 weeks, but I think they'll figure that out. The defense is the issue. They have guys who are unfortunately injury prone, getting up there in age. I don't think trading a first-round pick or a second-round pick to get Brian Dable is the answer because they need that pick.
I don't think you're wrong, but I think a coach as great as Brian Dable, you can trade a pick for him. Brian Dable went to the Giants. Daniel Jones had a great season. They made the playoffs this year. They didn't win a playoff game, but Isaiah Hodgins looked good.
He's unplayable this year.
This year, yeah, you're right. But this year, he drafted a rookie in Jalen Hyatt, and when Tyrod has played at least, they have connected and he's made an impact. I think Brian Dable can maximize the offense of the Bills and put less stress on Josh Allen. Sean McDermott is a defensive coach. Brian Dable goes to the Bills with Stephon, with Kincaid, Gabe Davis, and those guys. Like,
Listen, we know it'd be great, but it's not happening.
Why would the
I
Giants?
think it can happen.
I mean, unless Dable is going up to Joe Shane, who's his buddy, by the way, they came over from Buffalo together. Is he going to go there and say, listen, I know we kind of came here together, but I'm out. I can't coach this team anymore. It seems like a long shot. I like the idea.
It's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know, Brian Dable, the Giants, if they get a top pick this year, and let's say it's not a quarterback, let's say they don't draft Drake May or Caleb. If they draft one of those guys, I think Brian Dable, definitely stays because, of course, he's got a quarterback now. But if he doesn't draft any of those guys, now it's like we got another year tied with Daniel Jones.
You're not a Michael Penix guy, bro? Let him cook.
With the top 10 pick?
Let him cook.
No, not with the top 10
He
pick.
might be a top 10 guy.
I think he's a second rounder, third rounder.
Second rounder?
Yeah.
There's definitely some valid questions
Respect
about him.
him.
He's a statue in the pocket.
This is the Heisman winner right now.
I don't know. You love lefties. I respect
God,
that.
I love him.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
His throwing motion is wonky. If people didn't like Tua's, they shouldn't like Penix because he comes from really, really down low. However, I still believe in him. He's nice.
He has a lot of injury concerns, and I think J.J. McCarthy from Michigan is good.
He is
think,
good.
Yeah, he'll definitely be somebody that, as a prospect,
Shout out to
might
my
be a little
Wolves.
bit more
Penix
intriguing.
is old
Let me say
too.
Wolverines.
But it's a long shot, but I'm just putting it out in the air that, maybe Brian
Bear
Dable,
stinks.
he doesn't want to be with the Giants. Maybe he wants to. He always wanted the Bills job, but McDermott was always there.
The thing is, we were supposed to talk about the Bills and Bucs, sir.
We were.
Oh, we're talking about the Bills still. Listen, I think they're going to win this game because I think they need to win this game. And I got 3 Mojo Fantasy props for the Bills and Bucs game. The first one is Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He has a bounce back game. He gets over 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans over 56.5 receiving yards.
Son of a bitch.
Mike Evans, this guy is open at the 10th high at the top 10 rate in the NFL. He's going to feast on his Bills secondary. Dane Jackson, Kyer Elam. It don't matter. He's going to cook them. Then the last one, this rookie tight end just had his best game of the season last week.
It was about time.
This week, he's going to have another one. Dalton Kincaid over 37.5 receiving yards. I got him hitting over this line.
There we go.
Good.
I'm here. And listen, you mentioned it. The Buffalo Bills need a win. And Dehls, what's my favorite thing to do?
Over.
And I'm going over on everything.
I like
Josh
that.
Allen, over 261.5 passing yards. I think he has a big game. He needs to have a big game. Josh Allen, over 1.5 passing TDs, another one. And then my final one, Josh Allen, over 22.5 passing completion. It's going to be a Josh Allen day. He needs to do it. He has to put his team on the back. They need to get a W desperately to get back into that playoff picture or just continue to stay in that playoff picture, I should say, because the Jets are creeping, Houston is creeping, and those 3-3 teams are right behind them.
I'm going with Rachaad White over 21.5 receiving yards. That's really where he's done a That's where he's primarily done a bunch of his damage. And going up against the Bills, we just saw last week Ramondre Stevenson get 6 targets against the Buffalo Bills, haul in all 6. He was very effective against them.
One too, it hurt.
No doubt. And I'm expecting Rashad, where he's not that great of a rusher. This run block unit's not great. That's where he makes the majority of his work come from. I'm going with the over on Stephon Diggs. He's hit the over of 86.5 every time, but I believe twice. And every other time than that, it's been 100 yards. He is something special, and going up against this Bucs secondary, it's going to be a force feeding. He should have his way, no doubt about it. And the last one is going to be Mike Evans over. He's been dominant. He's hit his over when he's played over 50% of times every time but one. I'm fully anticipating him to dominate the matchup.
Mojo Fantasy is a brand new DFS app. Do you love picking first touchdown props? Then we have the game for you. Mojo Fantasy just introduced a free first touchdown challenge, and they are paying $10,000 to the first 10 winners. Here's how it works. Join the free first touchdown challenge. Pick 4 first touchdown props across 4 games. If you 10x your return, you win $10,000. You won't find first touchdowns on any other DFS platform. Join the free first touchdown challenge now for a chance to win $10,000. Download Mojo Fantasy now on the Apple App Store. Mojo Fantasy, make picks, make moves, make money. On to the NFL tiers list. Let's start off with the easier tier. I think it's the NFC.
Okay.
So I have the tiers list in front of me, and I have named them.
Here we go.
NFC tiers list: contenders, playoff locks, in the hunt, mid, and tanking for Caleb. Which teams are we putting in the contender tier for the NFC?
I got 2. I got
don't
Philly
disagree.
and I got San Francisco.
I'm fine with that.
I was waiting for the Detroit from you.
Nah, the secondary's mid.
Somebody
Okay.
over here said Detroit was better than Philly at one point.
If it was me picking,
Exactly.
I might put the Lions here out of respect, but 3 versus 1, I'm getting vetoed. I might even put the Cowboys here over
Oh, for
respect.
Christ's sake.
Not a
3
chance.
over 1 veto. Let's go on to the next one. Playoff locks.
This is the Lions.
This is the Lions.
Absolutely.
Dallas.
Cowboys.
This is
Seattle.
Dallas.
Seattle.
Seattle's seeming like a lock at this point.
Yeah.
Sure.
The
They're
Seahawks
gonna
are a
get in.
lock, I think, as well.
I think that's pretty much it.
And
As
we
a
we
lock?
need one from the NFC South, I guess.
As a lock, I feel like
I guess
feel
they're
like you
all
could
in the
put that-
hunt.
You can put that whole division
In the hunt?
possibles. Yeah,
In the hunt? Okay, I'm cool with that. That's a good statement, Riv.
Do we want the Rams aren't playoff locks, are they?
I don't think so.
You can't right now. Losing to the Steelers stinks, bro.
We're gonna have like half the conference in the hunt.
So the next tier is in the hunt. I think
Entire
let's-
NFC South other than the Panthers.
Let's rank the in the hunt tier by the teams we think are the best. Do we think the Rams are the best in the hunt team?
I do.
think so.
Or are the Vikings the best in the hunt team?
I would go Rams.
I would go Rams, but I wouldn't be opposed to Vikings second.
I think I would
probably
go
should be
Rams
second.
first, then the Vikings, then the Falcons.
I think
What
that's a
about the
great
Saints?
order.
Saints
I'd
probably.
go Saints after the Falcons.
I think the Saints are mid. I don't think they're a team in the hunt that I trust.
No.
I mean,
They're definitely a team in the hunt, though.
they are mid, but they are in the hunt.
Yeah.
They're just
They're
the
gonna
bottom.
be
hunt.
around 8-9 wins.
They're
the end
hunting
of
at
the
the
year,
bottom.
probably.
So after the Falcons, right now in the hunt, we have the Rams, Vikings, and Falcons. Next up would be, I guess,
Let's go Saints.
the Saints, if you want that to be that next team in the hunt.
That might be the Bucks. You're the Bucks guy.
and you got to put.
I think the Bucks are better than the Saints.
I mean, they just lost to the
That's
fucking
saying
Falcons.
They beat
anything.
the Saints.
That's saying anything.
I hate this fucking team.
uh,
Can't talk
if
to
you
me
want
about the
to,
Bucks
if
right now.
we just, God, I don't know, because in the hunt is just you have a shot at the playoffs, and I feel like 3 teams in the AFC in the NFC South have a shot at the playoffs.
They do.
So should we go Falcons, Bucks, Saints in the hunt?
I'm cool with that.
I guess.
I'm not. I won't argue it.
Saints have the best defense.
Falcons. You said Falcons, Saints, Bucks. What was the fourth one?
We have in the hunt Rams, Vikings, Falcons, Saints, and
Let me say this.
I like that.
Can I plead my case for the Saints?
yes.
Against the Jaguars, they came back.
Second half.
It was ugly, but they came back, and you mentioned it on your podcast talking about how Foster Moreau should have been included in the National Tight Ends parlay.
He should have.
And he dropped the pass,
Yeah.
and they would have went into overtime. I'll say this. I think defensively, they locked down in the second half. Offensively, that's where we have a majority of our questions. The offensive line's putrid. However, Michael Thomas has looked solid. Of course, Chris Olave. Alvin Kamara's been getting a ton of work. I still think that's the best team in the South.
On to the mid tier. I think who goes first is the debate between the Packers and the Commanders.
And what about the Giants?
I think the Giants are tanking for Caleb.
I don't think so. They just beat the Commanders.
That's right. That's true. I think the Commanders are a bit of a better team to this point.
Giants defense is good.
It is, but Tyrod Taylor, Daniel Jones, two different Giant teams we're getting.
I mean, they're basically the same, actually, unfortunately.
Between the Packers and Commanders, who do you think goes first? I think the Packers go first.
I think Commanders out of respect.
I'll be honest. I think the Giants are over both of these teams.
The Giants did just beat the Commanders. They all suck.
The Packers beat the Saints.
Packers just lost to the Broncos.
Wow.
There it is.
It's telephone of fucking.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
And the Commanders beat the Broncos. Transitive property. Packers last.
Packers losing to the Broncos actually puts them last, like literally last.
Okay, so I'll concede.
Yeah.
Giants, Commanders, Packers in the mid tier.
Don't we Commanders have more wins than the Giants?
By one, but again, the Giants just beat the Commanders. Transitive
that's
property.
Fair. That's fair. I'll take that.
Now we have 3 teams left in the NFC.
The Bears are the best of this bunch.
The Commanders, Panthers, and Bears are any of these teams in the mid tier, or are they all tanking for Caleb?
I think
Commanders are
mid.
in the mid-tier.
I think Commanders are mid.
That's fair.
Where's the Cardinals?
I asked you about the Cardinals.
Did
I say Commanders or Cardinals?
I heard Commanders.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad. I meant to say Cardinals. I meant to say
also-
Cardinals.
Are the Cardinals in the mid tier?
The Bears are the best team out of this group.
You know what?
I don't think the Cardinals are mid. I think they're bad, actually.
Kyler Murray is coming back.
Week 10.
If Kyler Murray's coming back,
We're talking about this week.
Need
Talking about
that.
this week right now.
Need full participant practice.
I can't believe it.
I come to
if Kyler's coming back in the next couple of weeks, I might get Cardinals that respect to being mid.
I'm with that.
Because Cardinals are in every
I'm
single
with
game.
that. I'm with the
fine.
Cardinals being mid.
They are.
Kyler
That's
back.
fine.
I'm with it.
If we're giving if Kyler's back, because what if Fields is back? What are the Bears?
So the final 2 teams in the NFC tier list, tanking for Caleb, the Bears and the Panthers, who the Panthers pick will go to the Bears.
Yep.
So the Bears will have 2 top picks.
Oh, y'all said that Jaren Jackson's a mismatch for Zion? Caught a fucking body on his head top. Stop playing with him.
talking about the
I'm
first
looking at
quarter.
you.
Oh yeah.
How many points does he have?
I don't care, but he just yammed it on
I
his
think
neck.
Jared has like 4.
Look. On his dome piece.
Nice.
Stop fucking playing.
That was
Listen,
actually
you don't got to tell me.
That's crazy.
You don't got to tell me to stop playing. I picked the Pelicans to win in a parlay. I got that. And they're winning by 10.
Nice.
Okay. Jaren Jackson has 0 points.
Bro stinks.
He's no fucking Zion.
Zion has 7 points.
What quarter?
It's the first half.
All right, we're good.
He got a dunk. He's good.
We're good.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
fine.
So let's reset and let's do this tier maker on the AFC.
Here we go.
I'm just gonna
Screenshot?
take a screenshot of this. So we have
AFC
it.
should be.
Oh shit! I didn't realize you did it like that. So just
interesting.
say it again for the fans and shit.
Yes, I will. I got you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just doing it like this so they can basically
God.
see it.
What is going on?
Riv,
Riv?
what the hell is wrong with you, man?
It's 93-93 in the Celtics next game.
You let them come back.
Yeah.
It's the Knicks, bro. I'm not moved. Fucking respect New York, bro.
Shut your mouth.
It's my city.
Your city is the New Jersey Nets who won 12 games.
What are you talking
7
about?
Games. You're from Jersey.
Born and raised in the Bronx.
You wasn't raised. I actually went to school with you my whole life. You weren't raised in the Bronx.
I
You were
went to
raised
school in the
Jersey.
Bronx.
You were raised in Hackensack, New Jersey. Me and you, both.
I did 5 years in the Bronx, bro.
0 to
You
5.
did 19 years in New Jersey.
I'm old.
Yeah, you're cooked.
AFC tier list, ranking these teams into 5 different tiers: contenders, playoff locks, in the hunt, mid, and tanking for Caleb. Maybe I am just, you know what? In the contender tier for the AFC, I think only one team belongs.
Ugh,
It's
I knew
the
this was
Chiefs.
happening. Ravens.
I think until the Chiefs get dethroned,
Ravens.
What about Baltimore?
there's no
That
other
doesn't even
team.
make
What about
sense.
Baltimore?
They got dethroned by the Bengals.
Wait, so how are the Niners in the tier with the Eagles? Isn't it until they get the throne?
They haven't won a Super Bowl. The Chiefs have won a Super Bowl.
But we
They're
went to the
Super Bowl champions.
Well, we went to the Super Bowl.
But I think the Chiefs are number 1, and then there's
No.
everybody else is second place.
It's not you acting
The
like they went
Ravens
3
defense
straight years in a
is
row.
elite.
The year
Lamar
before they didn't go to the
Jackson's
Super
MVP
Bowl.
conversation.
So you're telling me you would put the Ravens in the contenders tier?
Yes.
Yeah, the
I
Chiefs and the Ravens are the 2 teams in. You some
You're
hate.
fine with that?
Yeah.
No
Hey.
Dolphins in this?
Nah,
That defense is ass.
You're
We
a
need to
hater.
wait.
You're a hater.
No, I just respect Patrick Mahomes, and I
We
know
all
nobody
do.
can touch him. That's
Oh
what I
my
know.
God, what are you?
You want to touch him.
Nobody.
Jesus Christ.
Pause.
You probably want to do things to his bone. Like you want like
Where's the action figure? Please save the action figure.
Get him a Mahomes
Do we have
action.
one?
They do some
Okay.
things,
No,
yo.
thank God.
Yeah.
Playoff locks.
This is
This is where Miami gets slotted in.
Buffalo. I think Buffalo won.
Is Buffalo?
You should still put.
Hold up. Wait, we got to put the Jaguars. We got to
Oh
respect
yeah,
the
yeah,
Jaguars.
yeah. They should
Okay.
be one. The Jaguars should be one. They
I
will-
think the
yeah.
Jaguars are above the Dolphins in the playoff lock tier.
Why?
Their division. They're gonna win the division comfortably.
The Jaguars have been better this year.
Not really.
They beat the Bills.
Jaguars' offense has been mid.
Flew in Friday.
Their defense has been
jet
top 10
lag.
though.
But again, they just almost blew
They're
it to
gonna win the
Saints.
division, bro. Outright. They're gonna win the division.
What are they top 10 in?
Defense.
For what, scoring?
They're 6th in EPA per play and a bunch of other
Always
stats.
EPA.
Let's see. Jaguars beat a good team challenge.
they're
Bills
yards and
in
scoring.
London,
So
they
I
had that
have-
advantage of having 2 weeks in London.
I'll be honest. EPA and PR
This is-
are one of the worst stats I've
They've
ever heard in my life.
they've beaten the Colts twice.
Colts are a good team.
They
They're scrappy.
mid.
They definitely
They're mid.
they give everybody a challenge.
They lost
They
to
played
the
them Gardner
Texans.
Minshew.
They got smoked by the Texans.
That's a bad loss.
Is
They
it?
beat the Falcons.
Don't get smoked.
I mean,
the Colts is a
we're
good
not
win.
moved by the Falcons.
So by the transitive property, the
Gardner
Jaguars
Minshew?
beat the Bills. The Bills smoked the Dolphins.
But again, that was when the Bills were healthy.
No.
The Bills
They weren't
lost
healthy
Matt
that game.
Milano against the
No.
Jaguars.
They lost everybody.
Milano was there against
Milano was
Miami.
healthy, and Trey White
Oh,
was.
Miami, yes, yes. I
That's
thought
what
you
I'm
were
saying.
Jags.
Matt
I thought you were
Milano
Jags.
was there for a
They
portion
still
of
put
the
up 48,
Jaguars
though.
game.
Or how much for 40?
It was a smoking.
No, they whipped your ass.
The
40?
Dolphins'
48,
defense is
20?
ass.
Yeah, no, it was like
The
a father
Dolphins'
beating a
offense
son.
absolutely clears.
The Jaguars defense through
I
week
would put
7.
them on personally.
If y'all all again, you've conceded multiple times. I respect that. If y'all
I
feel
think
the
Jags
Jags
are
are
one.
better, that's
I
your
wouldn't
prerogative.
say better, but I think they're more of a lock than Miami. So I would put the Jaguars
Okay,
on.
I understand where you're coming from because they should win that division. It's a good point.
The Jaguars are 16th in scoring on defense.
I would go like in this. I would go
They're
Jags.
4th against the run and 31st against the pass, but
That is mid.
but the advanced stats show that
mid.
the advanced show a different case though. Like
fuck advantage.
they're 7th in EPA per play, 6th in drawback EPA, 13th in
They
rushing
did.
EPA.
Like, I think they shut down the Falcons in London. Like they.
And the first half, they shut down the Saints.
Yeah.
Not saying much.
Saints
to be
are.
fair. It's the same thing with the Falcons.
Again, it's every team that's not.
They did shut down the Bills
not
for the
be
most
petty.
part.
Regardless, though, Jaguars, Dolphins, Bills, however you want to
cool with
have
that.
it, you can.
I would
make
go
the
Jags,
arguments.
Bills,
are the Bills a
Dolphins.
playoff lock after?
That's what I'm
Yes.
wondering.
They're a playoff
The
lock.
defense is legitimately a concern.
If we don't think they're a playoff lock, that means
have
we
an
don't
issue.
believe in that man.
We have an issue.
And I
They're
think
a
we all
playoff
believe
lock.
in that man.
They're a
They'll
playoff
get into the
lock.
playoffs.
Yes.
They may not be a division lock, but they'll get to the
They
playoffs.
almost lost to the Giants, bro.
Yeah, I know, but then heroics.
They almost lost to the Giants.
Let me ask you a question. Has
Heroics.
Tua beat anybody?
Yeah, 5 teams.
No, like good teams. Shut your mouth then. Anyways,
We'll put the Bills in playoff locks.
If they
And we'll
lose
put them
Chargers-
ahead. We'll put them ahead of Miami too.
Y'all really don't give a fuck about the Chargers win at all.
I never thought the Chargers were good. I thought they wouldn't make the playoffs.
Why'd you
I thought
pick
they'd
them
be a
week
wild
one?
card team.
I didn't pick them week 1. I picked the Dolphins, clown face.
Did you?
Yes.
I'm
I
shocked
did.
to hear
Look
that.
it up. I picked the Dolphins.
Yeah, me and Joel picked Chargers.
Clown. Thank you, Dehls. Look at you. Apologize.
Munch. These two. Munches.
No, apologize to me.
Nah.
You're racist.
Wow.
Am I?
Truth
Yes.
comes out.
Am
Truth comes out. The truth comes out. In the hunt, this next tier,
Oh, you can put like.
even with
Wait. Sorry.
Here we go.
Let's get back to that other tier. I forgot.
the playoff locks,
Yeah, playoff locks. The Browns not in here.
the Browns are not playoff locks.
Okay, just asking.
In the hunt for sure.
In the
And
hunt,
number 1 though, right?
I think the Bengals should be number 1 in the hunt.
This is just insane.
This is such glazing. What have they done this week?
It is crazy. What have they done?
Joe Burrow's healthy now.
Stop
They've
me.
won two games in a row.
They shouldn't have won that Seattle
Off
game.
the strength of their
They shouldn't have won that
defense.
Seattle game at all.
I don't care. I don't-
He doesn't care when it comes to these. But
Okay, hold on. If the Bengals weren't 1, would they be 2?
No, Pittsburgh is in front of them.
Get out of here. That's ridiculous.
I'm trolling.
That's ridiculous.
Bengals would be 2. Bengals would be 2. Bengals
Okay.
would be 2. Bengals would be 2.
Okay,
but
but the-
respect Cleveland, please.
Why? They don't have a quarterback.
And they're still ahead of the team with the quarterback.
Riv, we've seen teams
Riv,
historically
Riv.
before.
We're talking
If they
about right now.
okay, we're talking
It's
about right
hard
now.
to defend.
What is that? What is it?
Without a quarterback,
And
how
they're
can you
still
defend it?
winning.
They almost
games.
lost to the Colts,
They
bro.
won.
They should have lost though.
And
They
the
cheated. They were
Bengals shouldn't
cheated.
have lost. They should have beat the
The
Seattle
Colts were
Seahawks.
cheated out of that
They
game.
did.
The
They did
Bengals
beat
should have beat the
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
They did.
They should have.
Yes.
did.
Okay.
Bro, their defense showed out in the red zone
If
twice.
Gino actually scores when he had 3 to 4 opportunities
Nah,
to score
Gino
in the
choked.
red zone.
They
Gino
did.
But the
Their
Bengals defense
defense
also
locked
locked.
up. Defense locked
They
up.
locked.
And the
They did.
Browns defense got clutch. Yes, they allowed 30,
Yes.
but they clutched up.
40.
Not
if
just
we're being
30,
honest.
38,
Yeah.
38.
Listen,
38.
man,
This
the
is-
Colts had
listen,
some fire.
If you want to argue,
How many? There's some fire. How many points did the Bengals score?
17.
17.
No, against the Browns.
Oh,
3.
can you
Right.
stop with the
No,
rain game?
I don't give a fuck about rain games.
if you want to say the Browns right now are a better team than the Bengals, whatever. But if we're making a tier list, I think the Bengals, because Joe Burrow is the quarterback,
So let me ask you a
because
question.
he's getting healthier, they have a much better chance to get into the playoffs.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how are we doing this tier? Are we talking about just as of right now, or are we saying we're projecting a little bit?
Little
That's what
both.
I'm asking.
It's a little both.
Okay,
Yeah, a little both.
If you want to put the Bengals at 1, I will
I'm okay with-
concede.
I'm okay with
I
that.
will-
I'm
I'll
also
concede.
okay.
I
with
will
that.
concede because you guys don't respect the Browns, and it's fine.
Are the Browns
Whoa.
over the Steelers?
Oh, so
Yes,
what the
yes,
fuck
yes,
are we
yes.
The
doing?
Steelers beat the
And the
Browns.
fucking Browns beat the Bengals.
I don't
You
care. It was
I
week
know
one.
you don't.
It
And
was
that's
week
the
one.
problem.
It was week one.
That's the problem. And it was week 2 when the Steelers beat
But
the
the
Browns.
Steelers have had
And
multiple
Deshaun
great
Watson,
wins.
I'm gonna be
Deshaun
honest.
Watson was on the
I'm
other
gonna be
team.
honest. I'm with you, Joel. It's not crazy. Steelers have had some good wins.
The Steelers beat
Browns
the Rams
don't.
and the Browns.
Yo, the Steelers don't move me one fucking ounce.
If you don't
I'll be
believe in the
honest.
Browns
I'll be
offense,
honest.
you should not fucking believe in the Steelers offense.
Deontay's back. He looked
don't
good.
care.
Pickens
Pickens
has
has
been
been a-
amazing.
Oh,
Pickens has been amazing.
Give me a fucking
The
break.
offensive line's been pretty
So
solid
Drew,
too.
Steelers or Browns?
Fuck.
I'm going Browns.
That's embarrassing.
I'm going
It's
Steelers.
so embarrassing. This is ridiculous.
Fuck.
I don't even pick the Steelers to win games.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait.
You said I don't even pick the Steelers to win games. Y'all don't pick them ever.
I said Browns over Steelers.
This is really glazing them out.
I said Browns over Steelers.
That's the first. Yo, oh my God, yo, y'all make me sick.
I said Browns, yes.
I apologize. You two fuckers make me sick.
I told you I was thinking about picking the Steelers as an upset this week.
But you didn't.
I did it.
Because you know they
You were
suck.
close not to, though.
No, I picked the Steelers because I believe. Because I actually, first of all, I think the Steelers are a good team. When we had our power rankings, had them like as a 13th
Listen. You have the Browns. Dell's got the Browns. Drew, are you going with the Steelers or not?
This is insane.
Because I'm going with the Steelers. If you pick the Steelers, we're doing rock, paper, scissors, and shoot right now as a tiebreaker. One. That's it.
All I want to know is, where's the Jets?
They're in this tier.
Okay.
Let's get to
Better
it.
than Pittsburgh.
Are the Jets over the Browns?
Are the Jets
No.
better than Pittsburgh?
Yeah, we're smoking.
So the Jets aren't over the Browns, but the Steelers are.
The Steelers are 4-2.
And so the fucking Browns.
Yeah, but the Steelers.
No,
they
there is no
they're-
Bucs.
I'd pick the Jets
There
over
is
the
no
Browns
Bucs.
and the
There is
Steelers.
no
Drew,
Bucs.
are you going with the Steelers or not?
You see how
I'm
he's
going
mo-
with the Steelers.
You see how he's moving
Okay,
the goalposts?
I'm going
The
with
the
Steelers are
Steelers.
4-2.
Riv.
I'm sorry. I'm
Riv.
going with the,
Why are you?
all right.
Why are you going with the Steelers?
One, you got embarrassed by Baltimore. Two, you gave up almost 40 points to the
The
Colts.
Steelers got embarrassed by the Niners.
Niners are the Niners, and that was week
And
one.
the Ravens are the Ravens. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Against the Browns, who won?
With Browns,
Browns. Browns.
Okay, if you're gonna play that card,
Against the
keep it
Rams.
consistent.
Against the Rams. I most definitely did not see the Steelers winning that game.
Oh, you talk about Steelers and Rams.
The offense actually looked good that game.
And they did look
And the Browns beat the
solid.
Niners. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? The Browns have the best win out of those three
I'll
teams.
be honest,
The
the
Niners are
Jets
one of-
have the best win out of everybody.
And
Beat
if you want to
Philly.
put, and that's why I asked, if you want to put the Jets over, that's
I'm
fine
with
because they
it.
have the
Here's-
best.
Wait, so
I'm
the
with
Jets
it.
over the Browns?
I'm with it.
Are you putting the Jets over the Browns? Are you putting the Jets
I'm
over the
trying
Browns?
to-
I'm not mad at that. If
I
you want to
trust
do that,
Reese
we
and
can do
Garrett.
that.
We're
But
putting the
let's
Jets
go.
over the Browns.
I'm with it too. I'm with it
The
too.
dicking is nuts.
So
you were not even Yacho. I'm not even mad at you. You were
Why?
so quick. Yeah, Jets. But the Steelers, what are we doing? The Browns just beat
All right,
the Niners.
here's the thing. Jets,
Name a signature win the Steelers have right now.
Browns, and the
No,
Rams.
like against a great team.
You're
Okay,
saying the
Ra-
Browns
okay,
are great, aren't they not?
No, I don't think they're a great team. We're talking about. They're not a great team.
This is in the hunt teams.
Yeah. They're not a great team. You said the Ravens, right? That's their one signature win. The Browns have beaten the Bengals and the Niners, bro. Put some respect in their fucking name.
What, bro? They have
And their
two-
quarterbacks are literally
they have
openly.
two-
Their
they have
quarterbacks
two
are betting
division
on the other
wins.
team to win and going out there and playing against
One
them,
team's
bro.
a contender that you're talking about that they beat.
And they beat the best team that we thought was the best team in the world.
And they had no CMC, no Trent Williams, and Debo gets hurt.
And they
And
would
okay,
have lost
let's-
if they hit the
if you
field
want
goal.
to play that game, did they really beat the
And
Ravens?
the Niners, exactly. The Niners almost won that fucking game.
What game?
The game against the Browns.
Okay, so if you want to play that game, did the Ravens really lose to the Steelers?
Yes,
or did
they
just
choked.
do some abnormal
They
dumb
choked.
shit? Yeah, they
They
choked.
choked.
Exactly.
Touchdowns.
that's
They
on
dro-
them.
three
That's on them.
I will say though, the Steelers' 4 wins have come against the Ravens, Rams, Browns. Those are 3
Raiders
respectable
mid.
teams.
Raiders mid.
The Raiders are mid, but I think it's not crazy to have the Raiders as an in the hunt team either.
No,
'Cause
it's
they're-
kinda crazy.
They're,
They're ass.
So I think those are 4
You just lost to the Bears.
Those are 4 respectable wins that the Steelers have.
The Raiders and the Titans are the same tier.
The Raiders did just lose to the Bears.
Rav, don't do that.
They're the same tier.
The Steelers have some unbelievable
and
wins.
so do the Browns.
They have good wins,
why-
but again, you're talking
They have
about that
the same
Niners.
amount of wins.
But you're talking about that Niners game like CMC was full
and
play.
you're talking about that Ravens game like the Steelers actually won that game.
Bro, they
Okay,
clutched.
okay, let's break it down.
They
Oh,
clutched.
let's break it
They
down.
did not
3
clutch.
touchdowns.
And George Pickens had a bomb touchdown to seal the game.
Did the Steelers beat the Browns? Like seriously, like remember
the
the game.
defense was great.
The defense was
The
great.
Steelers' defense was great.
Deshaun
Alex Highsmith was
Watson
defensive player
ran
of the week.
ball and fumbled under his ass.
That's on, bro. That's on him.
No,
Like,
come on.
what are we
let's,
doing?
Let's answer this objectively. The Steelers have beaten the Ravens, Rams, Browns, and Raiders. Is that more impressive than the Browns, who have beaten the Colts, 49ers, Titans, and Bengals week 1?
Why are you adding the week 1 context? I see what you did there. I see what
was
you did
so
there.
subtle.
Yeah, it's so subtle. I feel
Wait,
like
so
that's
we're
just-
debating Browns and Steelers right now.
I feel like that's
I'll-
around the same.
I'm still having the Browns over the Steelers.
I think the Browns. Especially
again,
after last
why?
week,
It's-
you got to put
Why?
the Browns over.
But why?
They're a better defense.
The Steelers have 4 wins. They've beaten 3 pretty good teams, but I still don't trust this. Not that I trust the Browns offense. I trust the Browns
on.
defense.
That-
though.
does
At
that
a
not
certain
sound-
point, you got to put that to the side. They're winning ball games.
Where did you
So-
put that
so
aside
the-
when they were
wait
11
a
and 0
minute.
3 years ago?
Wait a
That's
minute,
true.
Dehls, let me get this straight. The team loses Nick Chubb
Yes.
for the year.
For the year.
The team has quarterbacks that are openly betting on the other teams and playing against them,
They're
and they're
being
still
terrorists.
4-2. And he's talking about some damn
38
impressive
points to the Colts. Gardner Minshew's the fucking quarterback.
wins. They won the game.
Yeah, by 1 point.
They won the game.
I'm not moved.
They did not cover the spread.
You know what I'm moved by? Miles Garrett, who put an
Good teams win,
all-world
great teams
performance.
cover.
He was out of this
fucking bet on
world.
it. So
I'm
wait,
not moved
I'm
by
sorry
giving
that you
up
lost that bet.
38
I-
points.
so wait.
I'm not moved by allowing a
But
rookie.
you're moved by Baltimore's 3 touchdown drops? Are you fucking
Yes,
kidding me
I'm
right
moved
now?
because
You're moved
Baltimore's
they
a
could- they
contender.
dropped- Did
And what
Steelers-
about the Browns?
Did the Steelers have
Winning
anything
against
to do
the
with them
Browns?
dropping the ball?
But how about
Did
winning against the
Steelers have
Browns?
anything to do with them
Does
dropping the
the
ball?
Steelers
Did the
winning have
Steelers have
anything to do with the
them
Browns
dropping the
being
ball?
better than the Steelers? No.
What?
The Steelers beating the Browns, does that have anything to do with the Steelers just not playing better than the Browns?
The Steelers didn't play better than the Browns that
How
game.
so?
The Browns, Deshaun Watson was openly turning the ball over like a fucking
So-
idiot.
And they still have him.
Huh?
They still have him. Of course.
He's
He
gonna
didn't
play.
even play
He's gonna
last
start.
week.
Yeah. Well, he's not gonna play this week, but
And
he will
they,
play.
and they
again
had
this year.
PJ Walker. And you know what they did? They beat the Niners. Even if they had all them injuries, you still felt in your heart
Isn't
at
it-
any
isn't it
moment
crazy,
the
though?
Niners still should have
Isn't
won,
it
right?
crazy?
They should've won.
Yeah, they should have.
They still, because they had PJ Walker, and you were in no mind like, I don't give a fuck who leaves this game. The Niners should still
Bro,
win that game, right?
they were a kick away from winning.
But they lost.
Oh, isn't that ironic? So now, you know what, Joel? I apologize to you, bro.
But they lost.
No, I'm gonna apologize to you,
Because
bro.
you don't care
Because
about-
isn't that ironic?
You don't- if you
How
don't-
narratives
if you-
and
if
agendas
you don't
really
ca-
fit fucking
If you don't care about
conversations.
Baltimore's drops, I'm not
What do
going to
you
care
mean
about
I
the
do
field
care?
goal. That's
I
I'm not
do
going to
care.
care
I
about
was
the field.
here talking-
If you don't care about them dropping 3
Riv,
touchdowns,
the conversations about Lamar Jackson were fucking disgusting. Coming off of, oh, is Lamar Jackson worth that money? No, because you actually watched the game.
Worth money. What
Do
is
you
this?
Stephen
remember?
A. Smith had his little
Oh,
monologue.
I don't listen to him.
yeah.
That's why I don't know what you're talking
So
about.
my
Stephen A.
point
Smith.
being is, yes, obviously I fucking care about that, but end of the day you have to go out there and execute.
okay, whatever.
What's a
So-
better schedule?
This is.
They
we're going
beat
back
the
and forth
Ravens,
here.
they beat the Browns.
And the Browns beat the
And they beat the
Niners and they beat the
Rams.
Bengals.
Okay,
The
okay.
Niners,
now,
they
okay,
should've- bro,
Okay,
come
what
on,
you
bro.
guys are arguing? You're saying
Did Lamar not throw a pick to end the game?
Yes.
you're saying the 49ers.
So then
should've-
what's the issue?
They had 3 dropped touchdown passes.
should've won
Wait,
that
did,
game.
wait, did
Okay.
Deshaun not
They,
throw a
should,
pick
they,
to end
they
the game?
shouldn't have been. No, he
He
also
fumbled.
got
He actually
sacked.
fumbled. He
Yes.
had a strip sack.
Since y'all are both trying to cancel out wins, you're trying to cancel out the Steelers win versus the Ravens. You're trying to cancel out the Browns win versus the 49ers. If we cancel
Which you
both,
did earlier in this
if we
fucking show.
cancel out both of those wins, I think the Steelers 3 wins versus the Browns 3 wins are a bit more impressive.
Wait, what?
Because
like
the Colts, they gave up
If you
38
take away,
points.
if you
The
take
Rams.
away, if you take away the Steelers win against the Ravens and you take away the 49ers win against the
Riv,
Browns win against the
count-
49ers,
Riv, I can
think
count on my
Steelers have
fucking.
better
I
wins.
can count on my
What's the
fingers.
three-
Riv,
what,
let me
Colts-
finish.
Colts,
I can
Bengals.
count on
Colts,
my fingers.
Bengals, and Titans.
I can count on my fingers the amount of times that Cooper Kupp has been limited the way that he was just limited this past weekend. I can count on my fucking
Okay,
fingers.
and you can do the same thing with Jamar Chase. What are you talking to me about?
It
You're not
was
saying
week
nothing
one
to me.
in the
It doesn't
rain.
fucking matter. You
Bro,
can talk about week
they
1.
could
It
not-
doesn't
they
matter.
weren't doing
That's
shit.
still a game,
They
bro. They
weren't
still have to
doing
win it.
shit.
You didn't pick the Browns.
That has
You
nothing to
cannot
do with
say that.
anything.
If you didn't pick
That
you
has
can't
nothing
say-
to do with
if you-
anything,
if you-
Riv.
If you still picked the Bengals to win that game.
That has
so you
nothing
felt
to
that
do with
they was going to win that
Was
game.
I supposed to know that it was going to be a fucking torrential downpour?
You still thought they was going to win the game?
Regardless.
It doesn't matter. What happened, happened.
Exactly. What happened was the Browns locked them the fuck up.
smoked
That's what happened.
Hey,
you have to pay respect. The same thing that you can say about you haven't seen Cooper Kupp get locked up like that. You can say the same thing about Jamar
But
Chase
you-
that week 1.
You didn't
can
see
say the
you
same
didn't,
thing.
you didn't
That's a
see
bad
You didn't
statement.
see the Steelers beating the Browns either, though. Week 2.
No, I
And-
didn't.
and the Steelers beat
They're
them.
on. I think they're on par though. But everybody, I knew the Browns was gonna beat the Ravens. I mean, the
Can y'all
the
play
Bengals.
rock paper scissors and shoot for who
Yeah,
gets
for
this
the love
third
of
place?
God.
I ain't playing
Because
rock paper.
the
This
Jets are
shit don't
too.
even make
Wait, no,
sense.
I got the Browns. You got the Browns. You're with the Steelers.
Yeah,
That's
we both
why.
got the
Okay.
Steelers.
You two should rock paper
Nah,
scissors
bro.
at this
For
point.
the sole
Rock
for the
paper
sole
shit.
fucking fact
Doesn't make sense
that
to
you
me.
minimized that that Niners game, that's a
not
fucking
minimizing it.
L,
I'm not
bro.
minimizing it.
Because early in the show, you were going
I'm not
crazy.
I'm not minimizing it though. I think that's a big. When he asked me about their schedules, I said I think that's on par. I think they're on par with the same
Bro,
schedule.
I'm talking about solely about that win that you're glossing over with the not glossing over. You're going crazy over with the Niners when early in the show we're literally talking about
how am I
how
going
that's a
crazy?
great performance that Purdy even still.
I've been
that
vocal about the Bengals win because you keep
No, but you
looking
said
it
the
off.
Niners.
Then
I'm
that's
not
a good
looking-
win too.
Okay, I am kind of looking it
I
off.
know you are. That's what I'm saying. You keep looking off that Niners.
It's
that
a
Bengals
great
win.
W, nevertheless. But you're talking about that Niners game like they weren't a good field goal away from losing the game.
But you keep. I only kept bringing that up
rock,
because you
paper,
kept
scissors?
disregarding the Ravens and the fact that they
not
should
gonna
have
get
won
to
that
it.
game.
I'm not disregarding
You was
that.
though.
I
That's
didn't
the
do
only
that.
reason I kept doing
I
that.
did not do
yes,
that.
You did. You kept disregarding that. You said they still won the game.
They did win that
and then
game.
you asked me,
And they got a
and then you
stop to
said-
end the
And then you
game.
said, was that the Steelers' fault that they dropped passes? No. Okay, so then I can say, well, is that the Browns' fault that they missed a field goal? It's the same thing you
But
said.
again, he got a stop to end the game. They got an interception to end the game.
I understand that, but they still had 3 drop important passes that could.
But that's early in the game.
Those are 3 touchdowns.
All right, so one of you guys are going to concede, or one of you guys are going to play rock, paper, scissors, and shoot for this
Rock,
third
paper,
spot?
scissors, please, for love
We
of God.
just argued too much to concede now.
Nah, it's a fact.
Yeah, we can't.
So rock,
we can't-
paper, scissors.
Just
Now
do
that
rock,
you
paper,
guys
scissors, and
conceding,
shoot for it's the
rock,
third
paper,
team.
scissors.
It's the third team on the tier.
This is too much of a
This
man
is the
conversation
third
in rock,
team
paper,
in
scissors,
the
bro.
third
We're not
tier.
doing it.
Come on, man.
I'm willing to be a grown man. Hand behind your back right now. Hand behind your back right now. Rock, paper, or scissors, okay?
No.
You guys call it 1, 2, 3, and we'll reveal.
I disagree. I like it a different way. Dehls, think of 6 numbers in your head. 1 through 6. Whoever gets it wins.
All right, done.
Okay.
Go first.
2.
5.
Here's 6.
I'm fucking
Oh,
him.
what the fuck? I thought we were gonna get there until one of us got it right.
No, it's when you get
Oh.
closest. That's what I
I
thought.
thought. I figured.
right.
it
Oh,
was
no,
fine.
I thought what Drew
Okay.
was saying was facts.
Do it
Yeah.
again.
1 to 20.
1 to
Lock
20. That's
in.
valid. That's valid.
Okay.
3
Hold
chances.
on.
3 chances. We're not gonna take too long. 3 chances.
Hold on. Okay.
9.
14.
I tried to suck around with this BJ. 20.
No.
5.
No.
11.
No.
Motherfucker.
1.
No.
I think he's lying.
16.
No.
I'm fucked.
10.
No.
Dehls.
2.
No.
Fuck.
4.
No.
17.
18.
No.
I would have loved that. 13.
No.
16. Oh, no, he said that
I
already.
did say that already.
Damn, I don't even remember what he said. He said 20 already. 11.
No.
I said that already. 7.
No.
Motherfucker.
8.
No.
This
Dehls.
is insane at
Dehls,
this
we've
point.
said every number.
You
12.
I promise you no. Promise you haven't.
6.
No.
Yo, what the fuck, bro?
It's only right. It goes down to the fucking wire, right?
God damn it. 3.
No.
I said that already.
Oh no.
9.
I said that already.
I said 9
did.
5
19.
times. No.
I said that already.
I really think you guys are missing one number.
14.
No.
Yo.
15.
Yes.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I didn't say
You
that.
said 16.
Suck on it, bitch. Suck on it, ho.
Okay, Steelers go.
All right, Steelers,
Oh
go
my
ahead.
God.
That's nice. Okay, now.
So Browns next, right?
After, yes. So after the Steelers and Browns, are the Chargers in the hunt?
Houston.
Interesting.
I like the Texans. You're right. I'll put the
Put
Texans
Houston over.
next.
I think you could trust Houston.
Texans in the hunt.
Over the Chargers.
We still
I
putting
think
the
I'm okay
Chargers in
with
the
that.
hunt? Do we
Yeah,
still
I don't.
believe?
I still will respect Justin Herbert,
I think
I
it's
agree.
fair. I think it's fair.
Okay.
but he might be last on the list.
So all y'all 3 is saying Chargers in?
I'm not. We're not having the Colts in who
I'll
have a
concede.
3 and 4.
If all y'all
records.
3 say yeah, I'll concede.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
On to the next tier, the mid. Are the Colts at the top of the mid?
I think
Valid.
they are the best
That's
mids.
valid.
Are they better than the Titans?
Yes.
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 I
But
think-
I think the Titans are probably.
Are the Raiders in the hunt or are they mid?
I think they're mid.
I think the Colts have the best argument to get into the hunt. So I would put them at
You
the
know
top
what?
of the
Fair.
mid.
I'm being
I'll
rude
put
to
them
them
at top of the mid.
because they had some solid ones or some good games. I should say.
So far in the mid, we have the Colts, the Raiders, the Titans are up next. Or are they tanking for Caleb?
Tanking
do
for
you think?
Caleb.
If they trade Derrick Henry, absolutely.
Season's
I mean, they
over.
already traded Kevin Byard, so it feels like they're kind of in sell mode. D Hop's on the trade block.
I love that. I loved every bit of that.
I'm cool with that.
Mid?
Yeah.
Or tanking for Caleb?
I would say tanking.
Titans.
Yeah.
Tanking?
I think they're tanking.
Okay. Next, last 2 teams, I should say, the Broncos and Patriots.
Broncos are interesting, man. I don't think we're that bad anymore.
No, the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks they've shown some.
We
life.
beat Kansas City. We're going to the playoffs.
Porzingis has 30.
He's unbelievable. I'm gonna keep both
he
of these
does?
teams in the tanking column.
Most in the Celtics
They
debut.
need 2.
With the Patriots last or above the Broncos?
No, I think the Broncos still are the worst until proven otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you're not going to speak when that other guy having 11 points, huh?
Who?
JB has 11.
Yeah, he wasn't going to speak.
Tatum's
on
got
that.
30 plus. KP's got 30 plus.
You wasn't going to say no.
What do you want them to combine for 90 every night?
I do, actually. That would be dope. Damn. Jalen Brunson had 15 points.
Now Rudy Gobert's kind of killing.
Really?
And they're losing to Toronto.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Eat it.
Ant has 26 on 8 for 26 shooting.
How'd you respect it?
Toronto's a good
I
defense.
love Anthony
They're a
Edwards.
good defense.
What does Scotty Barnes have?
He
Talk to
actually
me
has
so I can
15.
cream.
5 for 15.
Ugh.
Yuck.
God damn it.
He
He's
does have 5
locking up
blocks.
Anthony,
He has
too.
5 blocks,
Exactly,
2
boy.
steals.
He's a defensive menace.
He's doing something out there. He's
You
locking-
both.
Wait, what the fuck?
Stop playing with Scotty's name.
Cade is
Yeah.
killing.
Oh, no,
Please.
he's a legend.
Stop speaking.
Listen, I love
How much did
Cade.
Kid have?
Cade has 25 right now.
Oh, and the
That's against
efficiency.
Miami,
And the
yeah.
efficiency. Talk to me. I know it's nice.
11 for 21. 3 for 6.
Oh, damn, he started to miss.
8 assists, though. He had 3 turnovers in the first quarter.
He did.
It's so off.
Oh,
Never
damn.
doubt.
Cat
Never
missed the
fucking
open
doubt.
3.
He did.
They're
Shocker.
down by 6.
Sounds like a
Damn,
reality.
So Toronto's going to lock up.
I don't know. Not
Win
yet.
one.
Still.
Win one. Win one.
On to the last topic of the show: NFL power rankings after Week 7. Drew, you can rattle it
Thank
off.
you. I'm just going to go 10 to 1. We've been here for some time. Number 10, I do have the Seattle
Oh,
Se-
I'm sorry. Stop. The Hornets won.
It's up!
By 6.
Who they play?
It's Hawks.
Stop it. Stop.
PJ Washington had 25.
What about
Rozier
LaMelo?
had 24.
LaMelo?
LaMelo was 4 for 15. He had a double-double, though. Mark Williams had 13 and 15.
He ate.
Calm.
He ate.
Brandon Miller had 13. Common efficiency. 5
How many
for 9.
minutes did Miller play?
24.
Nice.
5 for 9. Off the
I
bench.
love that.
That's cool.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Calm. All right. We're here.
Agendas,
Everybody
we're
else-
looking good so far. Shout out to the Raps. Shout out to the
Yeah.
Hornets.
Trae
Hawks
Young was
messed up.
4 for 19.
Hawks messed up my lay.
They were 4
No.
Yeah.
for 19. Trae Young was
I had
4 for
the
19.
my lay is Hawks,
That's what you get
Pacers,
for disrespecting the
Heat,
Hornets.
and Clippers.
You get for sleeping on the Hornets. Fuck.
That's for you, P. Eat it. Number 10, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Number 9, I do have the Dallas Cowboys. Honestly, I lied. Number 10, I have Seattle. Number 9, I have the Buffalo Bills. Number 8, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Number 7, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 6, I have the Detroit Lions. Number 5, I have the Miami Dolphins. Number 4, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 3, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. And number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, I'll go. At 10, I have the Cleveland Browns. 9, Dallas Cowboys. 8, Detroit Lions. 7 is where I have the Dolphins, dropping a few spots. 6, I have Buffalo. 5, I have the Jaguars. 4, the 49ers. 3rd, Eagles. 2nd, Ravens. Number 1, the Chiefs.
My top 10 teams, I have the Seahawks at 10, the Cowboys at 9, the Bills at 8, the Dolphins at 7, the Lions at 6. I got the Jaguars top 5. I gave them their respect. Their defense is playing really well, and I think the offense will figure it out. Number 4, the Niners. Number 3, the Eagles. And the top 2 teams are in the AFC, the Ravens at 2 and the Chiefs at 1.
Jaguars play a good team challenge. Right? You want to hold that in?
It's,
beat the Bills.
it's more so just the other AFC teams. Like, what do you do with the Dolphins? And you want to drop Buffalo, but they smoked Miami. So
You have
it's
Browns in your 10?
But when they
I
smoked
don't-
Miami, they were a different
Yeah,
team.
Steelers, right?
I had Seahawks.
Oh,
true, but
yeah, Steelers
offensively,
too, though, right?
they, like
No.
defense
Yeah,
obviously
I
is
don't
not
have
good,
top
but it's
10.
still up 40.
Yeah.
You know?
But the defense was dominant against Miami.
It was.
Okay. You had Browns in your 10.
I had Browns 10.
You had Steelers in your 10.
I didn't.
Browns.
I didn't.
Neither.
I have Seattle at 10.
Oh, that's cool, too. I ain't mad at that.
Mhm.
So, 10, I have Bills.
Wow. Mhm.
Yeah, I dropped him.
I get it.
Richard, clutch free throws, man.
I like to hear
Come
that. You paid him. He needs to, it's about to.
9 a year.
All right, listen.
What I told you about paying Pritchard a couple
You're
years
over
ago.
the threshold. You need to watch your money. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Second
I got 10. I got Buffalo. Yeah, I dropped him tremendously. I don't
10?
Yeah. I don't.
I mean, I have him 9. You have him when?
Damn,
that
I
was
have him. I have him 6. I think. I have him 6.
Too-
I still
too
have him
high.
over Miami, the Lions, the Cowboys, and the Browns.
I have 10 at Buffalo. 9. I have Cleveland. 8.
So sorry, not to cut you off, but if Cleveland and Buffalo played, you would take Cleveland to win.
I don't do my power rankings like that.
Okay.
I base it off how you lose and how you win.
All
If
right.
they play, I would pick the Bills 10 times out of 10.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, you do yours differently, and that's why I don't even hate on yours because you do your shit different than mine. You feel what I'm saying? 10, I got Buffalo. Nobody's gonna interrupt me, right? I could just go. All right. 10, I have Buffalo. 9, I have Cleveland. 8, I have Detroit. 7, I have Dallas. 6, I have Miami. 5, I have Jacksonville. 4, I have the Niners still. 3, Eagles. 2, Ravens. 1, Chiefs.
So we all have the same top 4, it seems like. In the
I
same
put,
order.
I put the Jags up there.
Tyus Jones tonight, 16 points. Dylan Brooks, 14 points. Marcus Smart so far, 12 points. Just saying.
14.
Where the hell
Removed.
did you get Dylan Brooks from?
Removed?
Look at 3 different.
What are the Grizzlies? How are the Grizzlies doing?
They're losing by like 10 to the Pelicans.
Not great.
Hey, Poole had a good efficient night.
They're losing by actually 16 now. It is.
Oh,
Against the Pelicans.
Oh, I'm
The
looking
Grizzlies.
at 78-68.
Oh, I'm looking at 78-62. I guess I'm behind.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I'm at 78-68. Also.
Grizzlies missing a
Boston
playoffs.
escapes.
I think the Nets might.
I live by the good
The Nets
grace
might
of
steal
God.
a win at home.
Cameron Thomas, man.
He's
He's a
cooking.
killer.
I hate to hear
He's
that.
good, man. That's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast. You guys can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pick a Side Podcast, on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.